And we are live. Happy New Year, 2018. Our first late night anger management class of the year, actually, as we pick up the pieces following an epic road trip to Montreal, the return of homicide at the Catacombs on Saturday night. It wasn't ideal circumstances. First off, playing the night before New Year's Eve. Secondly, it was literally like minus 40 out in Montreal. Like, there was no one on the street. I'm amazed there was many people there as there actually was, to be honest with you. And the turnout really wasn't great or anything like that. But, man, considering, like I said, it was like minus 40. It was motherfucking brutally cold in Montreal. But it didn't matter. We had a great time on Saturday night with the show. And then Sunday was pretty rough, actually, for the most part, because I don't really drink much anymore. So I was paying the price for Saturday night, as you guys saw during the afternoon. But we got a pleasant surprise. I thought it was a dream. I'm like, man, I'm hungover. Did I just pass out and sort of wake up and think I just saw Andy Dalton and Boyd hook up and beat the Ravens? Did the Bills just actually make the playoffs? But yes, the Bills just made the playoffs. Georgia have just made the national championship game. And Dave Malinsky makes his first appearance of the year with us on the Monday night meltdown. The professor in Las Vegas joins us as Alabama lead Clemson 10-3, 4 minutes remaining in the second quarter of play. A much lower scoring game, obviously, than what we just witnessed. Alabama came out on fire, man. They were overwhelming them defensively. They were just blowing up the line. Clemson have settled down a little bit right now. We've got ourselves a football game. Clemson, we're a little nervous early for one reason or another. Let's bring in a professor, Dave Malinsky, who's never nervous. What's going on, Dave? Happy New Year.
So far, so good, Gabe. But we can have some fun with tonight because we don't have that much NFL to talk about. We'll certainly talk about the Alabama halftime when it gets here for a few minutes. We can talk about the music a little bit, can't we? Because I'm curious. It had been so long when you got back on the stage. Were you reconnecting to something you once were, or was this a new Gabe Morency out there? Did you feel that much different?
It's weird, Dave. It was a cross in between in which I felt out of my element leading up to it. It's strange. Never nervous. I've done some pretty big TV stuff. I do ESPN radio hits. I don't get nervous. Like, I could do it like with a fucking bong in my hand and like in my underwear, and it doesn't, it doesn't get to me. Yet, and even though I used to do this for a living and I was in a band for like 15 years, not longer actually, and played, hundreds of shows, if not, probably in 1,000 range type thing, I hadn't done it, first show in Montreal in 18 years, 47 years since I was like 30. It was very, very strange and surreal. Sort of an out-of-body experience on the stage, actually. I really, it was strange. It was like, it was sort of like I was watching myself from above or something like that. But when I rewatched it after, I was pretty comfortable, actually. And it went better than I thought it was, Dave. So that's a positive. Like, it actually went better than we had hoped, which is a good thing.
Now, how much of this will we be able to see?
Well, there's a couple of good chunks. I'll send you one of the better. I've got actually almost song by song now, Dave. They're starting to pile in. Because, listen, I just stuck a computer in the room. We're talking about a punk rock bar here in Montreal, right? So, we're talking about a punk rock bar here in Montreal. I'm surprised that they even had Wi-Fi in the first place, let alone like how strong it was going to be. But we had people, including I see some people in the chat right now that were shooting some stuff on their phone. And there were multiple people shooting on phones, and they all said, we're going to post it, we're going to send it to you. And it's starting to filter in right now, and I'll send you. At least it's a little bit clearer. You get a better taste of it and stuff. Okay, it's very, very clear as far as the video, too.
I am looking forward to that because I wanted to watch a little bit over the weekend, but things were so busy here that it was hard to plug in, and the video was just a little choppy when we tried to plug in live. So I'm really looking forward to hearing this.
Yeah, in the future, like I said, I didn't know if we were going to be able to even do it live. It was sort of a last-second thing. I found out they had Wi-Fi. I was like, all right, we'll just stick the computer in the corner. But yeah, it was nice, Dave. And I don't get out of the house often, right? There was something about this. Paul Bovey was bringing this up, and Bovey goes out every couple of nights, and you're pretty good at it as well. I find I fall into a shell here, Dave. I'm a hermit. I'm on the air all the time, so I'm bitching, I'm active, I'm working, but I don't get out a lot. I don't get air very often. Look how pale I am. I don't get out much. I don't have any friends anymore because I just sit here every fucking day on the air, 18 hours a day. So it's nice to sort of just forget about all this stuff, and I really wasn't thinking about it. The Orange Bowl was going on. People in the bar were coming up to me, Rancy, what's the score in the Orange Bowl? I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. I'm getting ready to play a show here, and I was just seeing all these old people that I hadn't seen in like 20 fucking 30 years, Dave. So, it was a nice change, And then this Friday, we're going to one of your favorite cities, Vancouver. Live Friday night at the Red Card, downtown Vancouver. Beautiful bar, beautiful downtown Vancouver. It's January 6th is my 16th anniversary, Dave, of this show. So we're going to celebrate January 5th in Vancouver live. Everybody's invited. We have a lot of people coming from all over North America, fans of the show that are in the chat right now. Chris Edge in San Diego, big SBR fan. Kyle's a big SBR. Ian Cameron Babano, who I've known forever. He's going to be coming. Our crazy guy, Mick Aussie. So we got our own big sports rage party in Vancouver this Friday. That's sort of my official New Year's party day. So I didn't get fucked up for the Homicide concert. Now this Friday, 16th anniversary, and my Buffalo Bills made the playoffs, Dave. So we're going to pop the champagne and maybe break a table this Friday.
Good for you. Looking forward. Now, is music going to be, is this something you're doing just to get back some of the old memories, or is this something that you are going to do? Can we get some new material, take Homicide to a new level? What do you think?
That's exactly right. We are. That was the whole plan, was to record, go into Rick Emmett's studio from Triumph. He owns a studio called Metalworks, world-class studio, Dave, here in Toronto. And we figured, well, if we're going to record some new stuff, got to shake the rust off at some point in time. So we did the show is difficult. We literally, all four of us literally live in 4 different cities. And a couple of them have kids, one guy wants to go on tour tomorrow type shit. I'm more into periodical type things, but yeah, it went so well, actually. Boom. We've been offered like 1 million gigs since here, including someone I know trying to set us up at the Viper Room in Los Angeles right now. I've always wanted to play Vegas too, Dave. So yeah, it is going to be something part of the future there. We're going to, probably a spring tour type of deal with like a new 4 or 5 song EP release.
Yeah, we're doing this because not much happening in the Sugar Bowl right now. Alabama's got the ball at midfield, 3 minutes left, still sitting on 10-3. Big possession, though, for Alabama. If they can get 3 or a 7 here, make it a double digit, that can take Clemson out of their attack just a little bit. Again, they took Clemson out of their – we thought Alabama had scoreboard advantages the last 2 years. They didn't because there was Deshaun Watson. There's no Deshaun Watson tonight. So this is a real big drive in the flow of this football game.
You know what's amazing, Ashley, Dave? Just the little things and that early drop.
Yes.
The early drop in which the kid looked ahead. The ball was right there. He had it, and he sort of looked ahead. And then next thing you know, boom, Alabama gets good field position. Instead of 3-0, it's 10-0. And as we speak right now, Alabama's playing some physical football and pounding the football. This is really as good as Alabama has looked all year, to be honest, Dave. This is as aggressive and as hungry as they've played all year.
They've been clean, and it's so good of you to bring up the point about the dropped pass, because when you're up against an Alabama, you can't afford to give anything away. You have to play about as clean as you're capable of playing. You have to take advantage of all that is given to you because they're not going to give you that much. So that was a big, big moment for Clemson. If it's a 10-point or a 14-point game at halftime, it's not Deshaun Watson. Bryant's got some athleticism, but Clemson's ideal offense isn't for Bryant to throw the ball 25 or 30 times in one half, which is what they may be reduced to.
No, and right now, this is obviously a massive drive right now as we speak as well. This stupid fucking Hangouts, man. Clicking back and forth, Dave. It's bouncing back and forth with your shot and my shot here. It just pisses me off. This is a massive drive here. Listen, Alabama, Clemson can survive if Alabama kicks a field goal here. It's not an ideal situation for them. As you mentioned, they don't want Brian playing from behind here. But it's a manageable situation if they hold to a field goal. But 17-3, Dave, I know there's roller coasters in college football games, as we just saw earlier tonight. But 17-3 with the way Bama's defense is playing right now and Clemson's offense looking as tentative as it is this evening, 17-3 is going to be a pretty big hole for Clemson.
Yeah, because what has Alabama been as better at than any team in the nation the last couple of years? Not turning the ball over. So if you're down 14, you have to make the 14 happen somewhere. You can't rely on Alabama giving anything back to you in the second half. That is going to be, but here's a difference in the locker room. Dabo Swinney's allowed to look in the eyes of a lot of kids who've been in this same setting, trailing Bama in the past, and say, guys, we know we can do it. So there'll be a confidence level that they'll have. Is there a skill level that can match that confidence? But you see how games can turn. Did it look like Georgia had any hope of beating Oklahoma when there's about a minute left in the first half? Yeah, it almost looked like it had stretched so far out. Oklahoma had looked so clean that you wouldn't have thought that it could have happened. And it's good. I'm sorry for bringing this one up because I know this will be painful for you. Michigan up 19-3.
Unbelievable.
With that defense, against just a pedestrian ham and eggs South Carolina offense, how does a 16-point lead get away? Momentum and energy for young athletes. We've seen it on display all day long.
You've talked about this a lot in the past. You and I have discussed this a lot in the past, and I remember our conversations. And I agree, and I was shared and to say the same thing. I expect them to be roller coasters, these games. But we also talk about it with bounce backs, in which a lot of times, people think teams are going to lose a game. These kids will bounce back after and stuff. But you and I have discussed it, Dave. They're teenagers. They're kids. They're very emotional. So when things are going really well, they go really well. When things are going really poorly, they'll go really poorly.
Yeah, because keep in mind that when we look at the elite athletes and at the elite teams, they're accustomed to so much success. So they haven't had to deal, with the fact that there is some adversity out there. Back when I was a sports writer in Western Pennsylvania, we had one particularly great high school wrestler. And, undefeated as a junior, undefeated as a senior, gets to the state tournament. Someone gets him on his back, and he's pinned immediately because he didn't know what to do. He had been so dominant for so long. The one time someone got him on his back, he didn't know how to react to it, and it was a shockingly easy pin that took place. That happens a lot, though, at this level. You've got a lot of guys who are accustomed to being so very successful. When the shoe's on the other foot, little mental doubts can set in.
I guess the kid on Clemson just grabbed the jersey. I don't know if he would have caught it anyways, but it is what it is. So that's a strange penalty. What do they call on that penalty?
There were offsetting penalties. Alabama, a rare bad Alabama mistake, had a lineman downfield.
Okay, all right. Let me get the sound down just a bit in the background. So.
Yeah, an offensive lineman for Alabama apparently just didn't know the play and went downfield like it was a run. So that's what wiped out what would have been a 15-yard penalty.
It's a big 3rd-and-1 situation here right now, and Alabama converts it. Alabama's doing a nice job. You know what, Alabama, I talked about this, Dave, and I don't know if you agree with this, that basically Bama, to me, they haven't had an offensive identity since Kiffin left. And even with Kiffin, they were sort of all over the place, but he was kind of aggressive. Sarkisian was there for a game, and sort of this year, they weren't really we're going to run the ball all the time type team. We're going to throw the ball the type team. They had a lot of talent with Ridley and Scarborough, but they really weren't using them. They were using these guys as just sort of other guys, per se. They really didn't make their offense around their star players for some reason this year. But tonight, it seems like they made a decision coming in, because I know Saban got pissed about that in the past. Like, Saban wouldn't even know what was coming up next. He's like, fuck, we're all over the place here. it seems like they made a decision here tonight. We're going to play Alabama-style old-school football and just fucking pound it with 3 running backs down these guys' throats.
Yeah, if there's something to be said about this tempo management by Alabama, let's go back to those last 2 games head-to-head. In those games, Clemson had 95 plays and 88 plays. And when you got to the end of the fourth quarter, that Bama defense was real tired. Right now, Clemson may get into the locker room with only 25 offensive snaps.
Great
so,
point.
Yeah, Saban has won the battle of the tempo, so they don't have to worry about that attrition. But I'll tell you what I have not liked about this Alabama defense. I thought Kiffin did a great job of getting the playmakers in space last year. And what did Kiffin do so well at Florida Atlantic this year? They got the playmakers in space. That was one of the most improved offenses in the country because that's something that he does understand. This Alabama team, I thought, had the potential to be so much better offensively than they were.
Yeah, they just don't use their weapons properly. Simply, they really don't. I mean, it's to the point where, listen, they keep on producing these great receivers, and Ridley's going to be a top 10, top 15 NFL wide receiver, but I'm actually surprised that they're able to keep on getting these guys to go there and play in this system where, you could be an NFL first-round talent, yet it might not show because you're not really sure they're going to use you or you're going to be part of the offense that much. There's Hurts scrambling for a big run right there. Fucking, you know what? They had them, so it's still 4th down right now. But Alabama could have some. Alabama's had some problems making field goals in the past, right? You want them kicking a longer field goal. You know what? Clemson, like I said, them giving up 3 here is not the end of the world, but they've got to respond out of the gate here in the second half, and we're going to get a number. The in-game total was just 37.5 a second ago, Dave.
Yeah, we're probably going to see that go up. I see Chris 39.5 right now that I trust a little bit more.
What did I just say? Alabama's had problems. Oh, what's the flag? Oh. Holy fuck, are Alabama lucky. See, that's where they should be able to reject the penalty. Like, if it was any other penalty, then they could say, all right, no, you don't get to kick it again.
And how bad is it in a bowl game to have a delay of game on a field goal? When Hurts makes that run, it's 3rd down and forever. So you're pretty sure you're going to be kicking a field goal. You want your field goal team to be ready. That's inexcusable. Whether he makes this or not, that's inexcusably bad football to have to take that penalty.
And he misses. Again. It's like a high school kick, man. 38 yards. Look at this. It just fucking died.
Right, now think about energy into the locker room. Now, if you're Clemson, you almost go into the locker room as though this is a tie game. You don't go in like you're down 7.
Look at Dabo Sweeney on the sidelines here and stuff. Exactly. And another thing is, if you're Clemson, you're saying to yourselves, all right, guys, look, their fucking kicker can't make jack shit. If this is close, we've got this. That's pretty massive momentum swing right there, Dave. 2 times in a row, too. If it's just one missed kick, now it's in the Alabama field goal kicker's mind. I can't help but think about it. I lost fucking like $4,000, Dave, on that game years ago when in Alabama when they couldn't hit a damn field goal against LSU. Like, this has been a problem for Alabama for years, their field goal kicking. Now it's in Saban's mind now, and he's going to have to go for it at some point later in the game because he can't trust his kicker now.
Yeah, big turn. So now we've got one of the more important halftime lines of the college season coming up. I said mentally it changed so much because there's such a difference between being down 1 possession and multiple possessions. Right now, the entire Clemson playbook is available. They don't have to be in any sort of a panic. They don't have to be in a hurry up, which is something, again, that they're not really good at. Okay, we're getting the screen ready now. Because it will be Alabama ball to open the second half.
Yeah, Alabama gets the ball. Let's see. and waiting. We should have some Jeopardy music here. Do, do, do. All right, Dave.
Yeah, because there's so many people within running, I thought we would have seen this drops up a little bit quicker.
We've got some here. It's essentially the end game, but Alabama minus a half a point, over under 21.5.
That's pretty sharp. For Bama having the ball first. If I was setting it, I would have made it Alabama 1-22. So that's a pretty sharp price that's being dealt.
It just changed, just like that, Dave. Alabama 2.5.
Okay, that's a pinch high. Not that there's a big difference between the one I would have set and the 2.5. Clemson +3 will get something out of my pocket if we see somebody lay that 2.5.
Let's see. This is what I talk about, though. Like if it was the old school market bargaining, you get on the phone. Hey, I'll take it if you give me a 3.
Well, that's still a big part of what we do most days. There is a lot of that bargaining that does take place. There's so much that goes on behind. If it's Hollywood, you'd say behind the scenes. For what we do, it's behind the screens. So there's so much activity. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Bama 2.5 with money. Penny's 2.5 -15. Chris 2.5 -20. Total 21.5 under 15 at Chris. That looks like the ballpark is going to get out there.
What do you make of what do you make of the total here, David? 21.5. So we're at 13 right now. This becomes 34.5 in game from the 47 that it opened at.
See, it's hard because the defenses are so quick and so fundamentally sound that they're not going to make a mistake to give any points up. And again, the fact that Clemson's only down 1 score means they can come out a little more conservative too, so they don't have to open up in the third quarter. So it's a tough game to maneuver with that total right now. I don't want to play over because I don't see the offenses making the kind of mistakes to give points away, and the defenses just aren't going to allow a big play.
Yeah, it's hard to play an under 21.5. This is like an NFL-style number, Dave.
Yes. Well, you know what?
This is under this number, even though I do like it. I want to do it. I'm an over better, but I want to pull the trigger on the under 21.5. But overtime's a possibility in this game, Dave. That wouldn't be crazy. Would it shock you if something shit got nuts and it ends up being 17-17 or 20-20 going into overtime? Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, so to put this in perspective, the two teams had 255 yards in the first half. Both Georgia and Oklahoma had more yards individually in their first half than these two teams got collectively. But again, the one thing that Nick Saban really would have wanted to do, win that play count, keep the Clemson offense off the field. He was able to do that. So will Clemson get a rhythm going? Maybe, but the one thing that won't happen, the Alabama defense won't get gassed out. Because some of the seeds the last 2 years had already been planted by halftime. There's not, especially if Bama gets the ball first to start the second half, I can't see a scenario happening where they're going to wear it out.
Massive first possession. I hate to be cliched here, but big first possession. I mean, Alabama goes down the field and the trend continues. Clemson comes out on fire, quick stop, maybe a turnover, boom, they punch it in. It's amazing. You mentioned it, Dave. So from a physical standpoint, if we're looking at this like a battle from like a war perspective, from a physical standpoint, Alabama wins the first half.
Yes.
Like you said, their defense is refreshed. They're flying around right now. They're not gassed like they were in the last 2 years against these guys chasing Deshaun Watson around everywhere. But from a momentum standpoint, I think a lot was lost with those missed field goals at the end. Just spiritually, watching the kid fucking kick a dribbler on the first one, and then hit the upright on the second one from Dabo Sweeney. Sometimes you'll see coaches with their enthusiasm on the sidelines, and it's fake, or it's like, yeah, all right, he's just trying to get his team in this. I'm talking about this guy living in a fucking car before. Dabo Sweeney, it's real. He's preaching right now, literally and figuratively. He's a religious dude. about how it's fucking destiny. They missed the kick. We're good. It's all fine. And if there's, and another thing, Dave, a lot of coaches figure, all right, from a halftime preparation, from a halftime adjustment standpoint, could be in trouble against Saban. Figured Dabo won't be. What's your take on the second half adjustment battle between Saban and Sweeney here?
Boy, it's a big one because who was so important to last year's was Deshaun Watson that allowed for you to do more things. Alabama, did they let too many chances get away? You know, if you get 3 scoring opportunities and you only come up with 1 touchdown out of the 3, we didn't see Bama go down the field with the ball that often in the first half. 10 pass completions, but only 87 yards out of them. So will Bama come out and be too conservative? And that's something to watch on that opening drive in the second half. Will they come out aggressively in attack, or might we see a little too much conservatism there, which could come back to haunt them? So I don't have a good feel for the tactical adjustments because I didn't see Alabama make those adjustments that well offensively all season. I thought last year they did a nice job with Kiffin at halftime, ramping some things up. We didn't see that happen this year. Go back to the Alabama loss to Auburn. There was really nothing special there.
The Mississippi State game, there was not much of a change either, really, to be honest with you.
No, because it's one thing that we can say could be a bit of a factor here. Alabama wasn't challenged that much during the regular season. A combination of not a lot of close games, but also not a lot of tough competition. So they haven't been pressed quite as much. Clemson got pressed. Clemson was in a lot of close games. So they're a team that's had to make adjustments a little bit more. So slight edge to Clemson in that regard. Okay, we see the first 3 on the board. There's a 3 even. Here in town at the South Point, I don't see a 3 offshore. In fact, a couple of 3s now showing here in Nevada. So it shows you kind of a split difference in the action.
I think Clemson's the play, Dave, in the second half. Though I should know, full disclosure, I like Clemson coming into this football game, and I don't love what the score is right now, but whatever. I'm down by 1 fucking touchdown, Dave. I'm not hitting any panic button right now. And I think, to be honest, I think Alabama played pretty good in the first half. You just said it. Like, if you're Alabama, you don't really have much to show for your dominance, to be honest with you. And if you're Clemson, that was a pretty pathetic performance by you in the first half, and you're only losing 10-3 right now. I don't think Clemson are panicking. I don't think the players are panicked. I don't think Dabo Sweeney's panicked. And I know I'm not panicked.
Yeah, the Clemson kids have been through so much, the last couple of years. But now it gets down to mechanics. There wasn't anything Alabama did offensively that I don't think Sweeney's going to be bothered by. He will absolutely take what his defense did, but they've got to find some way to run the ball. What hurt Clemson the most in the first half, they were in 3rd and long a lot. They weren't able to run the ball well enough on first down to get into those 3rd and 4s and 3rd and 5s. And 3rd and 4 is the Clemson play because that allows the mobility of Bryant to be such a factor. They weren't able to get into that very often. So what Clemson's got to do is find some way to get at least a little bit of rushing in the second half to get better down and distance. 3rd down and 9 is a tough conversion against Alabama. That's the big thing they've got to do. It's not what Clemson does best. A lot of the Clemson stats in the running game are their running backs breaking big runs and not their running backs consistently getting that 5 or 6. So it's not what they do best, but it's what they're going to have to find a way to be able to do if they're going to win the game.
Dave, I don't usually advocate college teasers, but I was throwing, I got sort of the fever right before the playoff game started today, right? So I bet on Oklahoma. I usually save myself some money, Dave. Instead of loading up on Oklahoma, I was going to bet big on Oklahoma, and then I was planning on sort of rolling it over or betting big on Clemson too. Instead, I just played a parlay because it paid pretty nicely. So I played a parlay, so I didn't really get killed too much. I played Oklahoma and then Clemson. So I lose the parlay, but it sets me up to get in this game. But I decided to play a 10-point teaser. Normally I don't play a lot of them, but it's sort of a fun play. But I put a nice little chunk on it, 10-point teaser. Oklahoma plus 13.5. Clemson plus 13, or Oklahoma plus 12.5, Clemson plus 13.5, and Alabama Clemson under 57. So, I'm on Clemson plus the points as well, or on the money line too, but gives me a little wiggle room actually with the plus 13.5 and 57 in my back pocket.
You bring something up that a lot of industry people will complain about over the course of the week, and they mentioned about it to a few people I talked to today. How much handle did they lose on Alabama Clemson because people couldn't churn their Georgia-Oklahoma tickets?
Good point, yeah.
And here is the one thing that Nevada still does absolutely wrong. Pay the Rose Bowl over. So you got a guy who's bet, they come into Vegas for the weekend.
I guarantee you, Dave, there were guys in the sports book getting pissed off thinking, fuck, I want to get in on this game right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I know something we talked about on this show in the past. Some of the shops back in the late 90s when I was looking at a lot of, not really the offshore internet books, but literally walk-up books in Panama, Mexico, Venezuela. We would give vouchers for settings like that. Now, what we did wasn't legal or illegal. There was no gaming policy in those places. But what we told the bettors is, according to the gaming regs, we can't pay your bet because the game's not over. But here's what we can do. We can give you a voucher, knowing that they're just going to churn the voucher. And we don't mind that. So the Rose Bowl, we would get on a mic in the room and say, we are paying the Rose Bowl over. Come and collect right now so you can bet the Alabama game, and give vouchers out to people. And the bettors loved it.
When Scott K was at Bowman's, I remember too, even Bet365 after, you could talk them into it. Yeah, there'd be times where if the team was killing the other team, or a wager wasn't graded yet, you could say, listen, you get customer service on the line, you get the right guy, and they would do it for you, Dave. You tell them, listen, man, I got to get $500 in on this Bills game, but as you see, I'm tied up here right now, but and basically they would say, all right, listen, we're going to put it in, and if you don't have the funds in, we're just going to nullify the bet after, Dave. You know what I mean? If some weird thing happened, and they don't do it anymore, because I actually tried to get them to do it about 6 months ago, and they wouldn't do it. They're actually they acted like I was crazy. Maybe it was a legal thing now. They acted like I was crazy. But you're right. Online good offshore books will do it for you if you're a good customer,
Yeah, I mean, when you think about how frustrating it's got to be for the customers, but it's also frustrating for the shop. So that I may sit down with one of the local shop owners later in the week and say, okay, let's look at your numbers. How much churn did you have on Georgia, Oklahoma? And how much churn did you have the last 90 minutes up to kickoff? Because there's your assumption that those are guys who were sitting in the room.
And even though, Dave, there's live in-game betting, so, because what was happening. Guys were chirping in the books and what the fuck. And at the window, they said, chill out. You'll be able to bet the game live as soon as, you cash your ticket here right after. But it's different. The game's already started. It changes your perception. Hell, it changed my perception, Dave. I missed the first 8 minutes of this game. I don't know. Did you? I didn't see the first 8 minutes of the game. It was an overtime the other game. So I tried to get a stream going of it, and they had the Clemson game on a stream. So I was like, oh, fuck it. So even my perception changed. By the time I tuned in, I saw Alabama dominating. So if I'm a guy that wants to run to the window and bet Clemson before the game, I'm not running to the window to bet Clemson after I see Alabama running the ball down their throat. It definitely hurts their take, even if they do have the end game. It changes the perception.
It really does. I'd be curious to see how much, in terms of just real hard numbers, that's going to turn out to be. We're actually seeing under money showing up. I'm seeing a lot of 21s in the market, and one spot here in Nevada, CGT, has gone to 20.5.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it, Dave. I think this is going to open up. Even though these defenses are so good, 10-10 in the second half isn't a lot of points, Dave.
Yeah, it looks like the money's been pretty moderate in terms of the side, but interesting splits again. I'm seeing 2.5. In fact, 2.5 shaded low. Pinnacle 2.5 minus 0.2. Chris 2.5 minus 0.5. Yet there are flat threes in Nevada now. South Point is sitting at a flat 3 minus $1.10 either way. So there's been a big difference between the offshore action and what we're seeing down the street.
as there usually is, actually. Let's see. We got a 3 up a U wager yet? No, only 2.5. I want to take Clemson in the second half, but I'm already on Clemson, and I've already got them on a teaser, so I'll sit tight here. Total, I'm on the under 57. I think it's a little on the short side here, the total in the second half, but that's why they have in-game wagering. We'll ride it out. We'll see what happens here. So, Dave, quickly on last night, New Year's Eve, I saw a quick interview with Marie Osmond last night, live from Las Vegas, and she was performing at the Flamingo. Really is insane, man. This woman doesn't age, Dave. Like, I understand, like, you know, all right, she's had a few surgeries or whatever along the way, but she still looks really good, but it really is insane. Like, even, like, for all the years she's been in Vegas, she looks the exact same, Dave. The Osmonds, whether you like them or hate them, and I know people used to make fun of them when they were kids type of deal, but it's amazing how this woman never aged, Dave.
Well, you know what's frustrating about that is it shows what clean living does. And we got a guy in our industry that you would know very, very well. He's a guest on a lot of your shows, Mark Lawrence. One of the few people in our industry, a clean liver. Doesn't drink, never smoked anything.
Yeah.
So Mark has always looked about 10 years younger throughout his life than he was. That's been the Maria. So what we have to decide for ourselves is it worth it to do what we do? Because the problem I know that I have, I'm not that good looking anyway, so what difference is it going to make if I preserve well? You know, it's just
good point. I don't have a hell of a lot to save, Dave, as well. That's a very good point.
No, so what do I do with my New Year's Eve? We can talk about it. You and I've joked. Now that it's legal here in Nevada, some industry people got me a couple of special Christmas presents. I got a chocolate chip cookie and I got a chocolate bar. And for people who aren't quite aware of that, in Nevada, you can get a chocolate chip cookie that goes for about $25 and is considered to be 4 servings of wonderful organic herbal remedies. And so, you know, why not? It's legal. If you're not going anywhere New Year's Eve, you know, for people who are in this industry here, we don't get out New Year's Eve. One is if you're in Vegas, you don't have to. Because Vegas is New Year's 365 days out of the year.
Yeah, New Year's Eve in Vegas.
Yeah, almost anything anybody did last night.
You almost want to avoid going out on New Year's Eve in Vegas.
Yeah. So since we have the games early the following morning, and I also have a 5:30 a.m. radio spot on Monday mornings, I thought, so what am I going to do here for a Sunday afternoon? Well, the minute the second NFL game's kicked off, we just start nibbling at the cookie a little bit.
So you started the celebration early. Because I got to be honest, Dave, I noticed this morning. I saw you on Twitter this morning when I was at the airport in Montreal, and I was at the airport pretty early. I was online waiting for a plane at like 8:30 or whatever, 8 a.m., and I saw you on Twitter at like 5 a.m. your time, and I was thinking, damn, Dave's up early this morning.
Yeah, I said Mondays and Fridays, they do a 5:30 a.m. spot with Paulie Howard, a guy who a lot of the listeners would know, and Mitch Moss over in Beeson. So there is that part. The other thing is the early bird still gets the worm, of course, in this business. But what's also great, though, about New Year's Eve in this day and age of tech, you decide what show you want to listen to. So it's not like I have to get up and go somewhere. No, I could sit here last night, listen to Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes live from the Count Basie Theater, annual New Year's gig that they do. That's not a bad thing to be able to do. So where would I go here that's going to give me a better experience than that? So, yeah, if anybody ever wants to come to Vegas on New Year's and wants me to join them, it's not going to happen. We just don't need to be involved with those crowds.
Yeah, Dave, you know I'm getting old. When I did the show Saturday, and I was undecided what I was going to do New Year's Eve. I was going to go out in Montreal. I should know it was so cold out. But I was kind of hungover. I didn't feel well. And I regretted not, like, leaving. I was like, man, I should have came home fucking right after the Sunday afternoon. But I did it. And my hotel day was a nightmare, man. There's, like, literally, like, 80, like, 18, 19-year-old kids, like, mostly fucking dudes, just broing it up in the hallways, Dave. Like, old school, like, kids partying on their first road trip or something. They had like 20 hotel room doors open. All I could hear was, bro, this and fucking that. And like, it was loud as fuck. And I know I'm getting old when I was thinking, it's New Year's Eve. I was like, man, these kids don't shut up. Fuck, I'm going to fucking go out there. But I knew they were going to go out. Thank God. Fuck. They all went out. And it wasn't too bad, man, when they got back. I'll give these little punks credit, actually. When they got back home, they didn't really wake me up that much. Like, if one kid did, I was expecting fights in the hallway and stuff, but there was, one kid passed out in the room and he wouldn't open up the door, so his buddies were like kicking the door and shit, trying to get in. But yeah, Dave, so it's funny. It was like the last time I was in Vegas, the second last time I was in Vegas, I was on Fremont Street staying at the D, man, and there was some fucking rave going on till like 4 a.m. And I swear it's the first time ever in my life, Dave, that I was fucking mad about the noise. I was like, I'm never staying in this fucking hotel again on Fremont Street. These fucking ravers, man, they don't shut up. It's like my room is shaking at 5 a.m. Normally, I'd be out there with them. Now I'm getting mad at the noise, Dave. Age really does change us.
It does when you get used to the quiet. But also, as we get older, we understand what the noise means also. And we realize we just don't need it. But speaking of that, some of the things that went viral on the internet this morning, and when I got up early and looking at it, videos of various bars where Buffalo Bills fans had congregated. That was pretty special. And in fact, I even saw a video of people at the airport to greet the team. Considering how cold it was, where else is that going to happen? Maybe it can happen in Green Bay, but outside of Green Bay or Buffalo, I can't imagine anywhere else you're going to have people at the airport that late at night when it's that cold.
2 a.m, that frigid. 2 a.m. on New Year's Eve at that. Yeah, I guess it was just perfect. It was New Year's Eve. Buffalo finally was in a good mood. What do you got going on in Buffalo? Plus, you can party at midnight at a bar. Hey, let's go to the airport now. You know what I mean? Hopefully the cops, weren't too cruel and busted people. But it was really special, Dave. And, as I get older, I'm not going to lie, I get less upset about this stuff. I get upset about it from a betting perspective. I used to legitimately be depressed when the Bills would lose a Super Bowl, Dave. Like literally depressed, like for weeks, and like I lost the Super Bowl, like I was on the team or something. As you get older, you realize they're just games, right? I've lost people that I've loved in my life. So losing a fucking game of a team that I like doesn't really rattle me too much anymore, Dave. But there's something special about the Buffalo Bills and everything that we've been through. And I don't know, it's like family. Bills fans were like family, man. And it was so emotional. And I feel so happy just for other Bills fans and stuff that just to see us celebrate and be happy for once and catch a break like that was just so special, Dave.
Well, now you catch another break. You're going up against a team that doesn't have playoff experience, has 2 clunkers in a row. Blake Bortles throws 5 interceptions the last 2 weeks. It's not like you're having to go to Pittsburgh or New England here. You're going up against a team that may give you an opportunity to be an edge.
Dave.
The one thing Alabama doesn't do, Alabama just did.
No, but what did I say was going to happen? Clemson's going to start the second half, get a fumble or something, and get momentum. I said this.
Yeah, the thing that Alabama does not do, turn the ball over.
There's your guy asking you to want Clemson +3.
Yeah, it looks like Alabama got caught. Hurts did not make a clean read on a zone option play. Ball got mishandled. Now they've got the graphic on the screen. Of course, 8 turnovers, the fewest in college football this year. That is an Alabama thing. But
Clemson punches this shit in, man. Oh, that was a big play, though. I like the play call. But it just got blown up. Because I would start running Bryant Moore here, too, if I was Clemson. I'd say, listen, kids, stop trying to read the defense. Just if you see a hole, run. And I think, he got a little impatient there. And that got clogged up early. And, holding Clemson to a field goal is a big momentum shift back here. Clemson's got to take advantage of this, Dave.
Yeah, the thing, though, is even getting a field goal for Clemson means that you keep contact deeper into the game. And I think I said that's so much more important for them this year as opposed to last year, keeping contact so that you can stay in your offense. Because, again, as you can see on these first two plays, Bama doesn't give you a lot of openings. But let's talk about this. Have you heard much about LaShawn McCoy today? I know they've been trying to keep that pretty quiet.
Yeah, he's going to play. He's going to play. It seems like, it was the x-rays are negative. McDermott's actually pretty – he doesn't really beat around the bush too much with this stuff. McDermott said, I expect him to play. Those were his exact words. Yeah, we're expecting him to play. That it was good news. It's not 100% that he's playing, but word is basically the belief is that, he's going to be playing in this game. And, I saw yesterday, Dave, right after the Bills made the playoffs, Bill Cowher basically automatically had the Jags going to Pittsburgh the following week. Phil Simms, the fucking idiot that he is, Phil Simms says, well, I'll tell you what, guys, I thought they fired Phil Simms. He goes from the booth to the fucking, the studio. He's even more annoying in the studio now. So he's like, I'll tell you what, guys, if you're the Jags, let's just see if Clemson can make this kick. You never know in college. Yeah. So field goal's good, 10-6. So Phil Simms right after, he's like, well, the Jags just got the easiest of any playoff matchup. They have to be really happy. This is much easier than playing the Chargers or the Ravens or the Titans. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's much easier than playing these teams. It's amazing the lack of respect that the Bills get and just how stupid the mainstream media are, Dave. How much better are the Jags and the Bills? To me, they're extremely evenly matched teams. As you just mentioned, Blake Bortles has been imploding down the stretch. They've got no motherfucking playoff experience. I don't see this major. I mean, it's crazy to me that the Jags are 8-point favorites in this game.
No, it's about as close to a team being on a free roll into a playoff game. Bills have absolutely nothing to lose here. Yeah, it's because the expectations weren't that high, but they've got to have a healthy McCoy. The one area where Jacksonville was vulnerable defensively was against the run. If you can get out and run McCoy, get 80 yards, maybe get 100 yards out of him, you can avoid the pass rush, which Tyrod Taylor doesn't want to see, and you avoid that Jacksonville secondary. And the Bill receivers aren't going to get open against that secondary. So this is all about McCoy. Can you load him up and get 25 carries to just slow and settle the game down a little bit? Again, similar to what we talked about with Clemson. What Clemson couldn't do in the first half is they got stuck in third and long all the time because they couldn't run on first down. Well, what happened on the first possession of the second half? They couldn't run again. So they got pinned into that long down and distance. Jacksonville is brutal when it's long down and distance. And especially now, and maybe this is going to be unique, we're not accustomed to Jacksonville having crowds. So much that they've got a big tarp, in their stadium. Well, they've removed the tarp. They believe there are going to be about 4,000 more people there. They've already sold all those tickets out. There's going to be a lot of Bills fans there, Dave. A lot of Bills fans, not just a few. I'm talking tens of thousands type thing. But could they get the tickets? Because I'd already heard that Jacksonville had sold out before they knew who the opponent was going to. They had sold the extra tickets that came from removing the tarp. Buffalo people couldn't have grabbed those because they wouldn't have known. So we're going to find out if Jacksonville people are more loyal to the dollar or to going to the game right now. That's what we're going to find out, Dave. Well, if you've got Buffalo people who are willing to pay, but I don't know if I'll put Buffalo into pocket, but I could see Jacksonville being very vulnerable. One of the things we'll write about at Point Blank this week, and you can find that every day at SBRpicks.com. Start of the season, 538.com did a good piece on Blake Bortles. And they called him the Tom Brady of garbage time. And essentially what Bortles was, his numbers in the second half of one-sided games were the best in the NFL. And his numbers in close games were among the worst in the NFL. Well, guess what happened in 2017? It was the same Blake Bortles. Jaguars were not in very many close games this year. They had several blowout wins, a couple of real one-sided losses. When the Jaguars were in close games, they got very little out of Blake Bortles. When the game was on the line at San Francisco last week, he threw 3 interceptions. Fourth quarter, when they're down 3 scores, then they make something happen through the back door. They're in a competitive game with Tennessee all day on Sunday. The offense doesn't score a touchdown. So there is that mental of Blake Bortles that can put Buffalo in the hunt, but you must have a healthy McCoy. You got to get a lot of carries out of him just to settle the game flow into something that's
and a player too from Tyrod Taylor. Player 2, and you know what? Jacksonville, listen, they got a great defense. As you stated, the Bills, the Bills wide receivers, though, have always just sort of found a way. And here's Clemson with a big stop, getting the ball back already. The Bills wide receivers find a way. It's not pretty, but they'll make one play in a game type thing. And it's, and Taylor just sort of does enough to get by. I believe in Tyrod Taylor. I've always liked the guy. I think he's a winner. I know he's got his flaws, but I believe in them. And I think we're going to blow up the Jags offense. I really do. I see the Bills defense going in there and shocking these motherfuckers and punching them in the mouth. And I'm looking right now, Dave, so I just punch in Buffalo News and all this type stuff, and they're going crazy. I said, so tickets are going for $285. Bills fans, that's what it's costing right now. That's the cheapest ticket.
That's not bad for an NFL playoff game. That's not bad.
Yeah. But the flights are expensive, so you got to drive. I know multiple people that are going, Dave. I don't think you get it. I don't think people understand, what this is for Bills fans. They're nuts. They're acting like it's the Super Bowl. People are like, I'm stopping everything in my life. I'm going to this game. I got people giving me heat because I'm not flying back from Vancouver to go to Florida. Fuck. I'm like, yeah, I'm in Vancouver next week. I can't fly to fucking Jacksonville on Sunday with my fucking Mark Wahlberg.
It's a matter of how tough the logistics are. And this is where I think the franchise might have been able to do a little bit better. Why did the Bills fly home last night anyway? Why not stay in Florida, adapt to the weather, certainly get better practices? And I know that it was late when they found out what that matchup was going to be, but you just wonder, even late, if they couldn't have made better arrangements. You know what? We're not going back to Buffalo. Let's stay down here. We'll acclimate better. We'll get better practice.
I've never been a fan of that, Dave. I get it. I really don't think that them going to Florida is going to be taxing for them. Kyle Hamburg raised a great point in the chat as far as the Bills getting this the extra day, at least the game being on Sunday as opposed to Saturday for LaShawn McCoy as well. But I'm not a fan of it. I get it. I like to, if you're going to London or something, you're going to Mexico City. I don't want to get there on the Friday like normal. I want to get there a little bit earlier. But I find that teams, it breaks your routine. Your routine is practicing in the fucking dome in Buffalo. That's our routine. That's what we've been doing. Our routine isn't a vacation in Florida for a week. And I've seen, I remember a lot of time, I remember the Arizona Cardinals, speaking of Bruce Arians, I remember Arians said, we're not going to go back. And they went to the Greenbrier. Fuck. They hung out at a golf club and a country club for a week, to bond and instead of save a trip. Yeah, they ended up losing fucking 3 games in a row after. And even Arians said, yeah, it broke our routine up. It was a stupid idea. I find that I personally would rather stick to the routine, Dave, but it's a debatable subject in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just not having to make 2 flights, trying to maximize every little bit of time. And especially for a guy like LaShawn McCoy, don't make him get on a plane twice. Let him get as much rest as he can this week.
I think the holiday probably played something into it too, Dave, that even though you're playing in the playoffs, number one, too, I don't think the Bills thought they were going to make the playoffs. Right? So they didn't plan for this at all. You're right. Let's be real. I don't make the playoffs. So, hell, I didn't. Actually, you know what? I actually did. Fuck. I predicted the Bengals were going to win. So, all right, here's Clemson moving the ball. Bryant going deep, getting some confidence, and completes it. They're saying, Bama players are saying no.
No, he dropped it.
Oh, he dropped it. Son of a bitch.
Close.
I thought he had it.
No, that's a couple of plays that Kane could have made and didn't make. Actually, give the defender credit. That wasn't really that was the defender stripping the ball. So give the Bama player credit for that. What we've got to talk about, that's a lot of fun though, Gabe, because it's your buddy Andy Dalton. But the last count I heard, I think it was up to $170,000 have been contributed to the Andy Dalton Foundation by Buffalo fans today. And I think that is absolutely fabulous. I've been following that on Twitter all day long. So when the news got out, one of the things that the Bills did yesterday is they tweeted a thank you letter to the Bengals. And I think Andy Dalton said, if you guys really want to thank us, I've got this foundation. And over the course of the day, a lot of Buffalo people have been contributing to it. That's a nice little sidelight.
Yeah, it shows it's the good part of football, isn't it, Dave? And it's amazing. Isn't it like crazy that all these sort of feel-good stories and, see, that's what I'm talking about. Let Bryant run, man. Deshaun who? But you notice a feel-good story like that, Dave, is from people. It's from fans. It's organic, not Roger Goodell of the NFL. You know what I mean? Like something really positive comes out of this in the NFL. Andy Dalton's foundation, the Bills go to the playoffs, just it brings joy to people's lives. It's going to help kids. It's all because of people and Andy Dalton, not because of Roger Goodell. You know what I'm saying?
No, and I think that's part of what made Georgia, Oklahoma so special during the day today. Two programs ordinarily would have no shot to be in the Rose Bowl. That environment today, that crowd during that game, we talk about how special of a football game it was. The atmosphere also contributed so much to that. Think about the thrill of a lifetime. Even Oklahoma.
Holy fuck, what a momentum shift that is.
Yeah, didn't feel the pass rush behind him. His arm got hit on the throw. That was one time Watson. I get so accustomed to saying Watson. One time Bryant did not step up in the pocket. That's a huge, huge momentum turner.
Wow. Fuck, Clemson. Yeah, it's going to be a roller coaster here. But, man, Clemson, we're about to take control of this shit. We got a real game going on here. All right, Dave, so we can't keep you all night, sir. We're going to be speaking on TV tomorrow, but let's just kick the tires and blast through the NFL lines. Tennessee Titans getting 9 against the Chiefs. No respect whatsoever for the Titans coming into this thing.
And maybe there shouldn't be. Now, not only the interception, a horse collar tackle on the interception. So Bama's going to take over the ball in field goal range. I was hoping naively I'd see a Kansas City -7 available. Did not. I think there's a big coaching mismatch here. I think Kansas City will be the much more relaxed and better set team. Tennessee hasn't been special all season under pressure, and they were nothing special at all in the Jacksonville game. They didn't play well. Jacksonville played down to their level. So I would lay 7 with Kansas City. If I see one, I just don't know if the market's going to allow me to see one.
Atlanta Falcons are getting 6. Here are the Falcons, Dave. You and I have talked a lot about the Falcons over the last couple of weeks, and I keep telling people, I'm like, listen, they're not as flashy as they are as last year, but they have the same record. And, here they are right now. They make the playoffs, similar to Clemson. They're sort of like Clemson in a way that I think if you remember, Dave, I talked to you about this a week or 2 weeks ago when we spoke, and I said about the Falcons. I get the sense when I watch the Falcons play that they're a very confident team. That they're young guys, but they do have some vets on the team, and they never really hit a panic button this year. I think they're a calm team, and who knows about the Rams? Rams are a very young team. What do you make of this one? Do you think the Falcons can play with these guys in this spot?
Yeah, there's not an area anywhere where Atlanta matches up that poorly. And I see a couple of places leaning heavy on the 6 now, so that we might see a 6.5. Atlanta's a definite go at +7, but maybe even 6.5 for something small, because there's nothing the Rams are going to throw at them that Atlanta can't deal with. One thing the Rams did right, they got a lot of people off the field in that San Francisco game, so there's going to be a physical freshness. But do we know if Jared Goff is ready to handle pressure yet? No, we don't. So I think Atlanta's got a chance to come out, play on an even keel. We're going to get a big spot. Okay, they're going to spot Alabama a little bit short on third down. Decision time for Nick Saban.
As we talked about earlier with the field goal kicker, right? They have to go for it, considering they have a fucking kicker that can't hit anything.
Championships get decided on plays like this.
Walter Payton style. Well, I should say Charles White since it's college. I don't see guys go over the top like that often. Hell of a run. That's old school football right there, Dave. That's old school running back.
That was because he really didn't have a lane open. That was good anticipation by Harris. He made a good play.
Yeah, that's some old school football. Yeah, see, I think the Atlanta Falcons are a live dog in this game too. Well, now Bama's on the verge of punching it in. Man, that touchdown, that turnover was big. He's not on the 1 though. His knee was down at the 4 here or something. Or no, maybe he wasn't there. All right. If I'm Clemson right now, Dave, fucking Harris just did it again. If I'm Clemson, I'm saying to these guys in the huddle right now, I'm like, listen, Harris is putting the ball up. Like, fucking punch it. Like, you can get away with this shit a little bit, but again, if Clemson doesn't recognize this now, like he was lucky he just got away with that. If he wants to keep going over the top like that, Clemson's got to realize it. Do a little fucking little scramble with Hurts here.
It's the ideal way because if you get him one-on-one against any defender, all he has to do is lean his way into the end zone. He's a tough guy to make a clean tackle on.
Big dude.
Now, you don't expect that out of Nick Saban. That's a little bit of fun. Now, that was a Lane Kiffin play call.
When I saw the big guy come in, I figured they were going to use him for blocking purposes, right? Yeah, I'm sure Clemson did too. That was a slick little play. You got to give him credit.
They had him lined up at fullback. Actually, it's an offensive interference, which they're not going to call. They used the tight end to physically clear out that side of the Clemson defense so that nobody could run with him. It's one of these that you can get away with a lot. It was basically a pick play. But the gamble by Alabama that Payne would be able to make the catch, that's the gamble there. So that's not a Nick Saban thing. That's a little more high energy than we see from him.
Well, I think like we were talking about the total, Clemson now has no choice but to open it up, which could lead to turnovers again, or maybe they score. But wow, what a massive fucking turnover that was.
Yeah.
Clemson, that 10-6, moving the ball, their crowd was way Alabama's crowd. It sounds like a Bama home game all night. Suddenly Clemson's crowd took over. Wow. Well, we'll see though, man. College football. Every time you think it's done, it's far from being done.
Well, and here's what also comes into play. Now that it's sitting on 11, here comes the point spread. Because if Clemson gets a touchdown this late in the game, they likely go for 2 instead of kicking. So you wouldn't be looking at 17-13 after a Clemson touchdown, either 17-12, possibly 17-14. And the one thing the stores don't want, they don't want this game falling Alabama by 3. That is their particularly bad number for this one. But that's how the play sequencing now changes. Clemson likely to go for 2 if they get a touchdown.
So Clemson are now plus 494 on the money line. Alabama minus 759. Alabama minus 10.5 at UWager right now, minus 147. Clemson plus 10.5, plus 113. Over under 36.5, although it's shaded, minus 158. to the 36.5. I think the over's in play here now at 23. So basically, that's 2 more touchdowns in this game. I think things are going to open up, to be honest, Dave.
Well, it's going to have to from a Clemson standpoint. What that sequence did is now Clemson's out of their playbook. Now they've got to open up just a little bit more. So that opens up 2 things. One, of course, Clemson making something happen, but also Alabama potentially getting another turnover when Clemson's got to go into their desperation mode. But let's talk about one quick thing when you mentioned money lines. It's in particular, Buffalo-Jacksonville this week. This is one of these unique settings where I see this as kind of an all or nothing type of game. If Buffalo's in the game, they can win it because the Jaguars can lose. They can make those mistakes. I could also see this get completely away. If Buffalo can't run early and Taylor's got to throw, it could get away. So if you're looking to bet Buffalo, instead of taking an 8, let's see, what's the best?
You feel the same way about the Falcons game, too? I mean, point spreads, like we always talk about in the Super Bowl, Dave, point spreads are sort of irrelevant. Do you feel the same way? Say, listen, if you like the Falcons, you play it to plus 225. If you like the Bills, you play it to plus 295.
No, because I see the Falcons as hanging. So if Atlanta doesn't cover, maybe they lose by 10, maybe they lose by 14. Buffalo can lose by 21. If they fall behind and have to throw. So I see you can actually take a 330 right now, courtesy of Scott Kaminsky, of all people. I would rather have Buffalo plus the 330 than plus 8 in this one. So if I'm going to go, that'll be the path. I wouldn't be shocked for the outright, but again, I also wouldn't be shocked if they got blown out. Atlanta's not going to get blown out. That at least will be a competitive game, so the 6 has a chance to hang.
The Panthers and the Saints. Panthers are a strange team. Every time I think they've turned a corner, they hit a speed bump. I'm not going to discount them here right now. What do you make of the number here with the Saints laying 6?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit too high. A couple of weeks ago, I bet Atlanta against New Orleans because I was concerned about those New Orleans defensive injuries. I mean, they got a key guy out in the line, at linebacker, and in the secondary. Well, yesterday is where those injuries showed up. Tampa Bay was 12 out of 14 on third down conversions. That shows you the difficulties New Orleans has because you're talking about some good playmakers that aren't going to be available, especially a guy like Vaccaro, who's sort of a glue guy in the secondary to help make the calls. So if it gets to a full 7, Carolina a little tempting. I didn't like what I saw from Cam Newton in the passing game on Sunday. Their wide receivers are terrible. Devin Funchess, who's their number 1 receiver, is really a number 2 guy. And if you look at Burson and Clay and all the guys who are at the number 2 wide receiver spot, you got 4 guys that might not even be in the NFL next year. So it's going to be hard for Carolina to get a passing game. And if you're going to compete as a road dog, you have to have that flexibility. But I will take a full 7 because I think that New Orleans defense has those vulnerabilities. Keep in mind, even though Atlanta didn't perform well 2 weeks ago in New Orleans, Falcons got to the 1-yard line twice without scoring. And that's what contributed to that scoreboard. When you saw the way that Tampa Bay moved the football and converted so many third downs, that tells you New Orleans isn't quite sharp enough to be laying this price.
Dave, we've got a question from Yura in the chat for you. It's actually a good one. What do you think the point spread will be if it's Alabama-Georgia next week in the championship game?
I'm anticipating probably Bama 4.5 right now, a little bit higher than they went off today. But I had heard 4.5 is likely the most common before we went on the air here. If Alabama stretches this out and turns this game into a blowout, maybe a 5. But I'd say 4.5, 5 looks like a good range for Bama. Total probably coming in about a 45.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good point, too, that the better they look right now, it could affect the number more. I mean, right now, Alabama's looking very impressive. But as I stated, I'm still not topping out, guys. I mean, it's college football, crazy stuff happens. The momentum clearly on Bama's side right now. It's amazing just what a couple of plays difference makes in this game. But, Dave, we'll speak tomorrow on television. It'll be our first TV show of the year. So we survived another year on the airwaves. God knows how we did it, but one of the reasons why probably is because we got people like you coming on the show Thanks for joining us. You're our first guest, actually.
Okay, in fact, I think right now they're going to show the pass interference
there it is.
on the Alabama touchdown, and this is clear.
Fucking pretty blatant holding too. Hey, like, come on.
See, this is textbook. That is not
just a pick, Dave. He fucking grabbed his jersey.
Yeah, that is clear textbook offensive pass interference. I'm surprised they didn't call that because that was a little bit too easy to see.
Oh, there's the interception.
Well, there's the over.
Yeah, this is why I said, at least I got that play in. Fucking garbage with that call being a touchdown, and now this.
But look what happens again. Why we love college football so much. The day starts out with Michigan can't lose up 19-3. LSU in a tie game is at the Notre Dame 1 yard line with a little over a minute left. All they have to do is either go for it, either get the touchdown, or if you don't get it, you give Notre Dame the ball at the 1 yard line with one timeout left.
How did you kick a field goal there, Dave?
That's one that, yeah.
How the hell did Harbaugh go for it, dude, with 3 minutes left, with it from his own 20 on 4th and 13?
He only had one timeout.
Whatever you bad thing, but yeah, that was some real bad decisions today, man.
Well, Harbaugh had to because he only had one timeout left. And in college football, where every running play can be 45 seconds, when you have one timeout, you sort of had to. But there was nothing behind Ed Orgeron's kicking. There's literally no debating that was the clear wrong strategy from a football. Because, again, Notre Dame had one timeout left. So if you go for it and you don't get it, Notre Dame's not going to do anything but run a couple quarterback sneaks and punt the ball away. They're not going to dare try to do anything out of their own end zone. That was one where LSU gave it away. You saw all the various flows in Georgia, Oklahoma. These games can turn so quickly. It makes it a lot of fun because even though that might seem like that creates more of a challenge in terms of predicting them, no, what it does is it creates a challenge for the odds makers. Everybody else has to try to figure out all of these various flows. That opens up our windows. That's where we find our edges.
Dave Malinsky can read his column in the morning, Vegas Point Blank. If you can, Dave, when you get a chance, you'd send me an email, even with a little advanced crib note so I could forward to the boys of the network. It would be appreciated.
I will do that. It touches upon what we just were dealing with, is how awkward it is to grade games. Tomorrow's column, how do you grade the NFL games from Sunday when literally half of them didn't mean anything whatsoever? That'll be the big lead tomorrow.
I think the moral of the story is we're starting over. That's the deal. I really feel that we toss out the records and we're starting over going into the playoffs. Dave Malinsky. Dave, it's always a pleasure, my man. Happy New Year. Thanks a lot for taking the time to be with us. An extended conversation this evening. Thanks, Dave.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, Gabe.
There's Dave Malinsky with us. Great stuff with Dave. You can read his column on the front page, SportsBook Review in the morning. Well, it's a good thing, like I said, I just grabbed that in-game over, but it's not going well. Listen, Alabama's been a better team anyways. It's a game of momentum, but it's not really a 24-6 game. That's what's frustrating about this if you're a Clemson backer. Motherfuckers, man. Like little fucking drops, that fucking interception, blatant fucking holding, pick play there. How is that not a penalty? Like the refs are right there. The guy that was holding the guy is a 300-pounder. Well, you don't notice the big fat ass in a white jersey fucking holding? Should have been 15 yards back, and it's not a fucking touchdown. And after, Clemson aren't on their 10-yard line after a kickoff. It's all intertwined, this bullshit. Like, they've been screwing Clemson all fucking night in this game, man. There was another play, too. Remember, they called pass interference, whatever it was. It was offsetting, but there was another time where the fucking kid on Alabama totally fucking spun the wide receiver. Totally got away with it. It's just one of these deals. It's like that Carolina-Denver Super Bowl. It's like, fuck, man. Yes, one team is better, but the refs just are fucking making it play downhill, too. Clemson are imploding here, too, though. It's like a combination of both. Thing is, like, not imploding because it's a tip ball, like a drop ball. There's just like these plays, man. These teams are so evenly matched. If you make a mistake, you're going to lose. And Clemson are making mistakes like that. Feasting like a pack of rabid dogs. Fucking SEC. God. I'm so sick of the SEC and the chance of SEC. Now we're going to have to hear about the SEC all week. Second and 23. Big Ten, Aaron, Michigan are an embarrassment. What up, David St. George? Michigan are an embarrassment. Fucking Michigan fucking blew the Big Ten's perfect bowl record. Michigan were winning 19-3. Harbaugh never should. I don't give a shit if he had one timeout left or not. You never should have fucking went for it at that spot. Now Alabama's line is just killing them. Fuck, this is frustrating. You know what's crazy, though, actually? I have a bad record in the Super Bowl, like over the last few years. I won the Super Bowl last year, actually. But if you go back, like over the last 7 Super Bowls, I think I'm now 3-4 after winning last year. Last year I was really good, though. Last year, like, I nailed the fucking score type thing. I won like a plus 650 prop. Like, I did well last year in the Super Bowl. But national championship college games, I think I'm like fucking 10-1 or something the last 11 years. I just realized this because I'm like, fuck, this is pissing me off. And I'm like, I'm not used to losing these games at this time of the year. I'm like, man, I've done well in these playoff games. Fuck. But then I just remembered, I'm like, no, it's the fucking championship game, man. Because I remember like who I took in every game. I could like rattle it off to you right now and say I took them. Super Bowls too. I could tell you who I took in every Super Bowl. You know what I'm going to do for fun, actually? Well, it won't be too fun. I'm going to look back and I'm going to look at my all-time Super Bowl record. I'll look back on my all-time Super Bowl record. Like, since I started betting on the Super Bowl when I was a kid, even like just in school and stuff. I think my first Super Bowl bet was the Cincinnati Bengals and the San Francisco 49ers. Not the second time they played, the first time they played. With Kenny Anderson, Chris Collinsworth. Now, being a Bills fan, it obviously has not helped my Super Bowl record. Well, you know what, Bates? If you're going to, like I said, if you went down with Bama last year, you go down with them again. You know. Listen, I thought Clemson were the better team. I can't lie. I was wrong, unless there's a major comeback here. But look, I was on Alabama the first time that they played each other, and I won. I was on Clemson last year, and I won. So, like I said, I'm in the championship game. I will win next week. We'll end this with a bang, but it's a little frustrating right now. Whatever. We got one more touchdown, the in-game over hits, and that'll soften the blow. this is the best Alabama's looked all year. I'll give him credit. I mean, Saban's got these guys ready to fucking play. Thing is, I'm not insane. I didn't go crazy betting this shit. I get a rush enough because it's a big game. Like, I bet pretty significant, more than the average person, but I'm not going to lose sleep over the money I lost tonight on this game. I'm more upset just about being wrong. You know what I mean? But, guys, when you get fucking these teams, man, like these games are real toss-ups. It can go either way. I mean, if you're a Georgia backer and you bet on Georgia today, you can't be walking around talking shit. You won in fucking overtime. You know, you made one or two more plays than the other team. Good call, good win. But people that talk shit, they don't, they're stupid. They don't realize what a fine line it is between winning and losing a bet or a team winning and losing a game. The way Alabama's playing right now, the way this Alabama looks right now, I'd have a hard time getting in front of them. I don't want to be wrong every week betting against these fuckers. No one gets rich picking on Nick Saban. All right, we'll take our first break of the year. See, look, now Hurts is fucking throwing darts and shit. Oh. Tom Blackland saying it's a bad throw. What do you want him to fucking do? Yeah, it could have been a little higher. That's on Foster. You got to catch that. See, these are the type of things, though, guys, where, it's hard to predict what happens next week. Look, Alabama just loses an old lineman. That's fucking big. It's crazy, eh? Like Blackledge was saying, man. Fuck, 15 minutes ago, it was fucking 10-6. Clemson's moving the ball. Unreal.
You think popular travel websites show you all hotels, right? Well, they don't. Actually, you're kind of hotel blind. Different websites show you different hotels. Some websites may only show you deeds, while some apps show you deeds. Because Trivago is a site, Trivago shows you available hotels. And that's one more way Trivago helps you find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago. Last year, Chevrolet introduced the most meaningful trophy in hockey, the Good Deeds Cup. We gave Pee Wee teams across Canada one more goal to strive for, to make their community a better place. Best of luck to all the teams competing this year to perform the most impressive good deed in Canada. Chevrolet is proud to work with Hockey Canada to support the Canadian dream in communities across the country.
I hope Clemson comes back just to shut people up. Not for my sake, but I hate people. I see all you guys in the chat. Oh, I knew this, and the chat now is a lock, and this and that, and whatever. It's like shit ain't over, fuck, man. I had people tweeting me yesterday about how the Bills sucked yesterday. Somebody tweeted me that I don't know why Tyrod Taylor's playing. The season's over anyways. Play Peterman. You know, earlier in the day, fuck, people were like, Georgia can't fucking hang with Oklahoma. You didn't see me talk shit during the game. It wasn't like, oh, this is a lock. Georgia suck. You got to wait till the game's over. You want to pat yourself on the back, pat yourself on the back. It's like Dennis Green. You want to crown her ass, crown her ass. You want to pat yourself on the back, pat yourself on the back, but wait till the game's over to do it. Master Bates, fuck. I love how a guy named Master Bates in the chat's calling other people low lives, but Bates actually a good guy. I'm not a fan of your name in there, but you never caused any problems. You seem to know what you're talking about. So you're all right. I got no beef with you. Yeah, I cannot believe that Cyborg went to fucking decision. I didn't see the fight. What's your fucking beef, Charm City Balla? Not that I really give a shit, but what's your beef? I saw you bitching about what? I didn't call Alabama out for their belt earlier. I saw you complaining about. I don't like Alabama's belt either. See Conor McGregor fucking still scared to fight Khabib, though. If Conor's like, oh, Khabib's terrible, he looked like dog shit, then why don't you just fight him then if he's so bad? No, I wasn't hard on Miami, Charm City Baller. I wasn't, listen, yes, I was hard on him. But it wasn't like anti-Miami, Charm City. It wasn't like anti-Miami. I just don't like over celebrations for players doing their fucking jobs. That's my problem. I don't like it with any team. Georgia with their spike shit and fucking chains and belts, this and that. But whatever, man. I guess I'm just an old crusty fucker, right? I mean, if this is what helps recruit kids, what are you going to do? And it does help recruit kids. Kids are going to like that stupid chain shit. People are going to like that spike shit. Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, fuck Miami and oh, Miami are clowns. My deal is, you have the game on and Miami's players are fucking showing this belt off. They're the chain and the crowd. And it's like the chain became bigger than the game. It was like having the chain and getting on TV was bigger than the game. Like it became a distraction almost to me. Like I don't have a problem with rewards or even the chain is given after the game in the room. All right, the player of the game, you get the chain and they can all go whoop, 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 whoop in the room together after. But you keep on handing this chain around on the sidelines, you're going to have kids thinking, fuck, I want to get that chain. This guy always gets the chain. I want to get the chain. It just, and another thing is, too, we already gave you a scholarship. I gave you a scholarship, and I'm getting you ready for the NFL. I got to give you a fucking chain every time you fucking make a play now? That's your job. And that's another thing, too. This is why when these guys get to the NFL and they're losing 21-0, they're like, first down. It's because, well, you're giving them fucking participation chains all the fucking time. I'm just tired of the fucking celebratory shit without accomplishing anything. Good for you. You got a turnover. Ooh, give me a reward. Fuck, win the fucking game. I'll give you a fucking stupid fucking fake gold chain to hang around your neck if you want. Win the game. Yeah, just because you got a fumble, it doesn't impress me. It's like Mac Brown. I knew a kid who played for the Texas Longhorns. He returned a punt for a touchdown. He was fucking celebrating. Everyone was patting him on the head on the sidelines. Mac Brown walked up to him and said, You're not so fast. That's all Mac Brown said to him. He said, you're not so fast. Like, you know, and Mac Brown's point was, listen, kids, settle down, fuck. You made a play. That's why I brought you here. That's why you're on the team, because I thought you could make a play. I didn't know I had to fucking hire a hooker for you every time you caught a ball. Guys make a fucking catch, fucking dancing. It's like, fuck, I saw it yesterday in the NFL, man, so many times. It's like, dude, you're on a shitty team. You had a shitty year. What are you dancing about? You suck. First down. First down. I like Corrente style. I like Corrente style. Give him a fucking $100 bill. Fuck, hey kid, you fuck your. What up, Brooks? And thanks for the very kind email you sent, Brooks. I want to get back to you, but I was puking in a hotel room. Brooks knows football. Brooks is right, guys. It's the modern shit. David, you think Odell Beckham? You think Odell Beckham gives a shit that the Giants sucked? All he gives a fuck about is fucking dancing and fucking doing a fucking dandruff commercial. It's constant. Like I said, I don't mind. I don't mind the game ball, a chain, a reward that your turnover, your chain. But the constant stuff during the game bothers me. That was my problem, Charm City. And I'm sorry I said I didn't give a fuck if you had a beef. No, you suck, fuck underdog. Get the fuck out of here. So it's 24-6, fourth down right now. At this point, I just want Alabama to score another fucking touchdown. Just get over to 36.5. I'm a pretty positive person when it comes to comebacks and stuff like that in these games, but you just don't get the feeling it's happening here. No, acting like a jackass. So what? Let them do what they want? Act like a jackass because you got a first down? That has nothing to do with kneeling. How does that have anything to do with people kneeling? I didn't give a shit about people kneeling. I'm more offended by fucking people over celebrating a first down than I am kneeling. I never bitch about anybody kneeling. What did I say? I said, I don't give a fuck if you kneel, whether you stand, if you put your hand on your fucking heart or your hand up your ass. Fuck, do what you want to do. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see hockey players after they complete a pass. Fucking, hey man, yeah, fuck yeah. I fucking cleared the puck out of the zone, man. Imagine every time a defenseman, fuck. Nice play there, Smitty, getting a puck out of the zone. Fucking right, spin, dance. Out of the zone, out of the zone. It's like, fuck off. It's only these jackasses fucking in football that do this bullshit. You don't even see guys in the NBA do this. I don't see guys in the NBA down 18 hitting a three celebrating. They don't even crack a smile. I don't see hockey guys patting themselves on the back because they fucking, ooh, good for you. You made a complete pass. Fucking goalie made a stop. I better fucking showboat. Better let everyone in the arena see that I stopped the puck. You know, I didn't do jack shit for the last 2.5 hours. You know, Jarvis Landry yesterday. Jarvis Landry, first down. Bro, you're losing 19-0. Like, and then Landry scores a touchdown and like pushes someone on the Bills, wants to fight. It's like, fuck off, bro. You know, you're a fucking clown. The Dolphins don't even want to keep you. Fuck, get out of here. Like, you know, he wanted to get kicked out too. I could see through his act. He was trying to get kicked out all day. It's like, yeah, you're a big tough guy, Landry. I know. You know, good for you, buddy. Good for you. You made a play. Fuck. Look at me. I'm Jarvis Landry. I made a catch. It's like, yeah, it's like you don't even care that you're losing, dude. Like, it's all right. You made a catch. They're all fuck faces, man. I'm not sick of football. I love football. I wasn't a fan of Patrick Waugh doing that shit either. Look at Patrick Waugh. The thing with Patrick was whatever. Like he was a gambling goalie, and you know sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. You know, I wasn't a fan of that shit though. I was a big Patrick Waugh fan. I didn't like that shit at the end of his career. He didn't do that when he was younger. It was near the end when he started to get really cocky. Now, you know what? Anyone that disagrees with me, whatever. I know there's a lot of young kids here and shit, but there's an old saying in sports, guys. I guess you guys don't know it. It's called act like you've been there before. Yeah, that's the way I was taught. Every coach I ever had would always say the same thing. What the fuck are you guys so happy about? Because what, you beat this shitty team? Like, yeah, act like you've been here before. Like, seriously. You know, Walter Payton scored a touchdown, handed it to the referee. He didn't fucking shine his ass with it. Funny, all the greats, though. All the greats weren't jackasses, but, you know, all you young kids love the jackasses. Oh, no, it's great. That's football. You guys don't know shit. That's not football. That's jackassery. Host a show on fucking A&E or go with Lonzo Ball and that bullshit. Fuck. I like real athletes that fucking are, you know, look at these Alabama players. Fuck. They're not jumping around like idiots after they make a play because they know this is only a semifinal. What's there to be happy about? We're just doing our job. I know that in today's day and age, doing your job, it's a tough concept. Exactly, Gino. Be a pro. I don't mind. I don't mind touchdown celebrations. Like I don't mind touchdown celebrations. I don't mind like a player having fun in the end zone and doing something stupid and crazy. Like I had no problem when Terrell Owens busted out a Sharpie and shit like that. I thought it was funny. You know, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when guys are losing and they make a simple play. Like a DB who's getting burnt all day long makes one play and he's fucking like, look at me and talking shit. Like I watch every football game, man. I watch it closely. I see guys just jawing after every play. It's like, bro, just shut the fuck up, man. Like you're terrible. Like why do you run your mouth? Like I love the story that they told tonight. I don't know if you guys heard it earlier before I started, Todd Blackledge told a story about Raquan Davis on Alabama. And he said, I was at Alabama's practice the other day, and one of the other kids on Alabama told Foster to shut up. One of the kids on Alabama, do you guys hear the story earlier in the game? Todd Blackledge said one of the other kids on Bama said, all you ever do is talk, man. He goes, you talk the most shit on our fucking team. He goes, how about tonight, instead of talking, you make some fucking plays? And Todd Blackledge shared that story tonight. That's what makes Bama Bama. They police themselves, man. Like, Nick Saban doesn't even need to fucking get on the practice field. Like, these guys, I've heard other stories about this with Bama, about kids fucking celebrating and practice and shit, and vets on the team saying, wipe that fucking smile off your face. Like, why? Well, you did your job. Like, good teams don't fucking, it's whatever. Oh, yeah, Des Bryant. Des Bryant's the biggest clown with that shit. Remember last week, Des Bryant made a play. I'm not this week, but 2 weeks ago. I remember against the Cowboys, Des Bryant made a play, sucked, didn't do anything all game, wasn't even targeted type shit. Made one fucking play, went fucking nuts after about it, talked shit, come on, man, got in the face of the other team. And then the next time he touched the ball, he fumbled it. Then he went to the sidelines and threw his helmet and shit. I never liked fucking jackassery, man. I never liked that shit. I don't like Conor McGregor because of that shit. My favorite players are like fucking Earl Campbell, Walter Payton. Emmitt Smith had class. I like guys with class, man. Well, I better get a fucking touchdown from somebody. You shouldn't be able to sprinkle on the field. No, you can sprinkle stuff on the field. I'm not that much of a fucking hard-ass Charm City. You know what else bothers me, though, about college, too? Is these fucking kids, their stupid fucking signs, on the sidelines. All right? So, like they've got a picture of fucking Katy Perry and a picture of, I saw tonight, who was it earlier? I think it was Oklahoma or maybe Georgia, whatever team it was. I noticed they had they had Rob Ryan fucking with his hair. They had Katy Perry, like you know what I mean, Britney Spears. You know, they have these placards of plays. And it's basically like four pictures of like pop culture shit. And what I don't understand is, so what's the deal, kid? You can fucking remember, you can remember what fucking Britney Spears' play means, or you can remember what you can remember what Katy Perry means. Like maybe we should spend less time fucking looking at fucking placards of Britney Spears and fucking Beavis and Butthead and actually teach you how to fucking take a ball from under center, son. How's that sound? If these fucking kids fucking get to the NFL, well, I've never taken a snap from under center in my life, but I can fly. Katy Perry means a fucking catch 22, route 6. It's like, you really, kid? It's not all for show. The kids can remember the shit easier. Like kids are so dumbed down now. You can't really tell them. Listen, fuck, /7216 fucking RR. You know what I mean? But he's gonna be like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying, coach. Listen, fuck. When I show you Beyonce's ass, I want you to fucking scramble right. Oh, okay, all right, yeah, I got that. like, I get it. You know what I mean? But like, where are we going with this? I love that. I love that fucking kid can't fucking tell shit. You know what though? Whatever works, man. I get it. Whatever works. Nowadays with recruiting and shit, you have to have this stupid gimmick shit. I get it. Yeah, exactly, Gino. Fuck. Hey, look, it's Britney Spears' tits. Okay, this, you know what I mean? Like, what are they saying in the huddle? Look, all right, coach, call Britney Spears' tit play here. It's the Britney play. Oops, I did it again. The interception. Yeah, the coach says, yeah, I didn't mean you fucking turn it over again, kid. David Jones is right. Good call, David Jones. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's just be real. The kids are fucking too stupid, and it's to the point where like it's easier. Another way that the kids aren't bad, like if you're a smarter kid, another way that the players, the coaches will do it is they'll give them. They have like custom Xbox and PlayStation. So it's like private and shit. No one can see it, obviously. It's not like you can play, like Drew can't play against them. But basically, they put the plays in Madden form for them. So the kids can understand it. They've grown up playing Madden. They've grown up playing Madden. So, you know what I mean? The players, the coaches design it and they just give the kid, all right, listen, kid, check this out. And there's a bunch of plays in Madden and shit. And the kid can understand it more because he's used to seeing it. How about you buy a TV, fuckface? It's Nation Gaming. What's happened is the average fucking person has less memory than a fucking goldfish. Attention deficit disorder, Big Will. I'm dead serious. I saw a poll. Millennials have a less attention span than a goldfish. Fuck. Like a goldfish can think about something for 15 seconds. Today's average person can't. Like a human before, like the average used to be like in the 20s. Then it got to the teens. It's literally down to 7 seconds now. Why do you think Twitter is successful? It's 140 characters. Guys, I do a fucking plays of the day video and shit. Like, they want the shorter the better. Like, if I did a 30-second video, they'd be happy, you know? I remember, like, before, I was like, man, I'm sick of rushing through my plays of the day. And it was like 4 or 5 minute video. And then I realized, I'm like, man, I got bigger hits when it's shorter. Why do you think Vine was a success? People want shorter, not longer. People don't have an attention. Like, they can't comprehend anything. Why do you think governments get away with everything that they do? Because people are too stupid. Like, mankind is like cavemen were smarter than us. Like, if you drop today's society, you think we're coming up with fire and wheels and shit? Come on, man. We're dead in fucking a day. I'm dead, fuck. Like, I'm dead. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not any different. Like, what am I going to do? I don't know how to fucking, what am I going to go start fucking strangling deers in the woods and shit? Like, I'll admit it. Like, I'm as dead as the next fucker is. I'll be sitting here, well, I'll be like, man, the store's closed. Fuck it, I don't know what to do. Got a bunch of weed, but I'm kind of fucked. Like, what have we invented? Like, how's the world gotten any better? Like, really, we haven't done anything. We've got like a smaller phone, like, essentially. It's like, yeah. Like, honestly, like, what computers, like, people, in my opinion, computers have been stuck. Like, the internet really nothing's changed. I remember, like, logging onto the internet for the first fucking time in my life in like 1998 or something like that, 99 or whatever. And what's different? I was betting online then, whatever. You can watch games now. Like, you know what I mean? There's movies and shit, but there ain't no flying fucking cars. There ain't no fucking great fucking online anything. The future ain't like the Jetsons. The world hasn't changed jack shit because we're stupid. We're stupid people. It's a stupid, look, like a guy like Chandler here. This is, that is the future. Yeah, that's what I'm saying halfway down the road. You know what I mean? I know this shit's there, but where is it? You see, like, I always bitch about this. You see these commercials. Oh, you know, you can do this with this, and, you know, your Apple, and, oh, connect instantly. Connect instantly. You barely can stay on for an hour. I know. I own your products. Like not just one of them. I got a little mini fucking MacBook, little iPad. Thing sucks, fuck. It's always fucking reloading and turning off. Fucking the alarm works. Sometimes it doesn't. The MacBook Pro is a $2,000 piece of shit. Fucking like, oh, we can do this, we can do that. I love their commercial. There's one computer commercial, like, where they show someone getting a bike accident and, like, buddy's all fucked up on the sidewalk. They're like, we know your blood type and we know everything about you before you get to the hospital. It's like, no, you don't. Buddy's gonna die on the side of the road. There is no fucking computer at the hospital. Maybe you know IBM, but I tell you, the fucking hospital in Texas doesn't know jack shit, all right? There ain't no fucking DNA, fucking blood, fucking nothing. Anyways. Yeah, what's a computer? Yeah. They're full of shit. Then you find out that they're bleeding your battery and shit and slowing your phone, so you buy a new one and shit. People aren't even mad about it. It's like a company is admitting that they are killing the product that they sold you. But you're not mad about it. They're doing it for your best interest, of course. Yes, I know, Beastly. That's true. I'll give you that, Tommy C. The computers are good for this. I'm aware of the irony. All right, I'll just shut up now. Yeah, Cam, I'm sure we'll have some PGA thoughts. I don't know what the hell people are talking about Kansas for. What are you talking about? What's going on in Kansas? I don't know what you're talking. Yeah, it says 24-6 with 5.5 minutes left. Come on, just give me one touchdown. Right. I did all right in the UFC. I had a show that night, so I wasn't watching it, but my picks were all right. Exactly. Vitalist knows what I'm talking about. Who cares? Like, I like that they have the commercial with Alexa and shit. And they're like, Alexa, what's the weather? It's like, why would I fucking pay $100 for some fake robot to tell me the fucking weather? Like, can Alexa tell me who's going to win the fucking game? Is Alexa going to get me fucking laid? Like you said, Alexa, give me a hand job. Like, really, like, what's Alexa really fucking doing? The best thing Alexa has going is my show. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, they're like, oh, these things can do everything. Play this. Well, I don't know. You can fucking hit a button and it can do the same thing. Like, maybe if they said, you know what, ask Alexa. Okay, Alexa, play the Beatles. No. What would the Beatles sound like, Alexa, if they played a song right now? I don't know. And they did it. Boom. That's a very good point. Troll Lab Phillips. You got me there. Come on, catch it. Fuck. It's just like last year, man. Fucking when Alabama scored 24 points against Washington. Their offense isn't explosive, Bama. Georgia can play with these guys. But like I said earlier, like I don't often bet against Nick Saban. I did tonight, and look what I got for it. Ah, fuck, come on. Just score a touchdown here. That's a catch. Man, I got the fucking total bet and that stupid 10-point teaser I played at stake on this. It's still 4th down.
College football playoff national championship weekend in Atlanta. The big place to be, whether your favorite team is playing or not. And you can learn about all the events and festivities planned for the championship favorites at collegefootballplayoff.com. On this biggest weekend in college football.
You know what? Even if they fucking got it, they would go for 2, and I would get fucked. Because they'd go for 2 to try to make it 24-14.
First and goal for Clemson. Georgia looking to end a 36-year national title drought. First won the title in 1984.
Not really sure how we're clickbaiting when it says anger management class. How's that not interference? How's that not a flag? And look at the kid on Bama's talking shit. Kid, you just fucking interfered with him the whole time. Holy shit. What's up, Bruce Chad? I think the fact that the Bills have made the playoffs is softened my anger about Michigan. I think I'm going to get pissed about Michigan tomorrow, though. Come on, Clemson. Just punch it in, for fuck's sakes. Ugh. They just can't get it in. I'll sprinkle on both. I think 8 points is too many points. What have Jacksonville done to be 8-point favorites? The Bills are better than people think. Am I on the over? No, I'm not on the over in the game. I'm on the in-game over here. You're going to lay 8 points. Jags have no playoff experience. Doug Marone's never coached a playoff game. All right, 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. 1:52 left. Clemson running out of bullets. Oh. Nearly picked off. Ty Pyro is exactly the case in point that we were talking about society. Seems like a real smart guy. All right, 4th and goal. Too high. Son of a motherfucker. Son of a bitch. Fumble it. Nope. Alabama gets the rubber match. Whatever. Clemson will be right back next year, and so will Alabama. Fuck, neither of these teams are going anywhere. You know, you look last year, Deshaun Watson was the difference. This year, Jalen Hurts was better than Kelly Bryant. You know, next year, Kelly Bryant will be a year better. Clemson actually got like the #1 quarterback in the country, too, in the recruiting class. You know, Clemson's defense was good. They did their job. There was a pick six. They were put in a lot of bad spots. Clemson's defense did their job. The offense was overwhelmed. Alabama's defense won this for them. Alabama's offense didn't do that much, really. I heard Blackledge mention earlier, they only had like 225 yards of offense. They probably have about 250 or something now. But, yeah, if you're an SEC hater, I'm not an SEC hater. I just fuck all week. We're going to have to hear about fucking how great the SEC is. And it's official. See you later, Delacool. (24-6) final score. Sets up. Do I think Jimmy V? I don't know. Jimmy G's been on fire, I'll tell you that much. Yes, Red Heat and Rage returns tomorrow, Tommy C. Brett Patterson is correct. Brett Patterson is correct. If you're Central Florida, you know, after beating Auburn, today, you can make an argument that Central Florida probably deserved better and a crack at the playoffs, actually. You got to give them credit. You know, Central Florida brought it today. Alabama just overwhelms Clemson this evening. Man, I don't know. I don't want to, you know, I'm the type of guy, once I make a decision and I give it publicly, I'm the type of guy that once I make a decision on a game and I give it publicly, I don't like changing my mind and turning back. So it's a little early for me right now to give you my definitive national championship pick. Like I said, I've been, let's look up CFB national champions. I think I'm like 9-1, 10, 11-1 type shit. slaughtered it in the championship game. All right, I see the list of champions here, but I won't remember unless I see who they played. No one cares. We're not going to get back into the fucking early 90s and shit like that. Pretty much, though. I'm looking right now, like 1999, I remember that. I was on Florida State. Yeah, so last year I was right. I had Clemson last year. The year before, I was on Alabama on the money line, and I bet a Bama future when I was in Vegas. Like I didn't, I'd like 2 to 3 to 1 or 2 to 1 or something, plus 200. Like it was already late in the season. Yeah, Ohio State, Florida State, Notre Dame, the Alabama. When Alabama beat Notre Dame, I was all over Alabama in that game. I was fucking all over Alabama in that game. Yeah, like we fucking killed this shit going back years. So hopefully we can continue that theme. I like the NFL playoffs this week, though. Like, I'll be honest. Like, the way I look at this national championship game is I think that, like I said, it's hard to bet against Nick Saban in a championship game. It's hard to bet against Nick Saban at any time. But I think Georgia's the better team. I think Georgia is more complete than Alabama. I mean, we saw today Georgia can score a lot of points if they have to. Can Alabama score a lot of points if they have to? I don't know. But, Alabama's got the better defense. Georgia's got the better offense. Georgia's defense is usually motherfucking good. They gave a bunch of points today. Fuck, it's crazy how good DeRozan is. Fuck. It's a tough game. It really is a tough game, man. Like I said, I think you can make a case for both teams in this game. That's a good. What up, David Jordan? That's a good point. David St. George. And Georgia's at home. Yet it's really, it's not like the Alabama fans aren't going to get into this game either, right? What's it name? Nick Saban's never lost to a former assistant. Interesting. Well, Dabo Sweeney was an assistant at Alabama, but not with Saban, right? Yeah. Imagine Georgia. The spread is bouncing around right now, official Korean. The spread's bouncing around already. We're hearing there's 3.5s, there's 4s, there's 5s. Listen, I'm not going to sit on the fence all week, but I just got my ass handed to me here, right? I was just wrong about both these fucking semifinal games. Anything I tell you right now would probably be wrong. Don't forget about the big North Dakota State James Madison game, too. Ty Paro, who's my Super Bowl? The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings are plus 400 to win the Super Bowl. The Pittsburgh Steelers are plus 550. Quick Super Bowl odd check right now. Atlanta Falcons, 22-1. These lines courtesy of UWager. Plus 2,200, 22-1, Atlanta Falcons. Buffalo Bills, 100-1. Carolina Panthers, 25-1. Jacksonville Jaguars, 20-1. Kansas City Chiefs, 17-1. LA Rams, 10-1. Minnesota Vikings, 4-1. New England Patriots, 2-1, plus 200. New Orleans Saints, 10-1. Philadelphia Eagles, 11-1. Pittsburgh Steelers, plus 550. Tennessee Titans, 100-1. So the odds makers discounting the Bills and the Titans. You notice the Eagles have home field advantage, yet they are, despite the fact they have home field advantage, they are only the third choice to win the NFC. Now, look, essentially, the New England Patriots are a tough team. And they absolutely motherfucking own the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the Steelers are a damn good team this year. There's something about them. And, yeah, they didn't technically win that game because of the weird call and stuff like that. Was it a catch or not a catch? It wasn't a catch. But anyways, it's not like they got blown out. Like, in their minds, I think they think it doesn't really matter. They won the game anyways. They're like, wow, we didn't get blown out. We moved down the field on them. I don't know. Like, I could be, I'm probably wrong. I mean, the Patriots are the Patriots. It's tough to beat these motherfuckers. And Tomlin and Big Ben never do in the playoffs. Or never do ever anyways. I just don't think the Patriots are that good, fuck. I don't think they're invincible. They're playing a shitty division. They get all the motherfucking calls all the time. They do have Tom Brady. With Gronk not there is a big difference. When Gronk's there, they're a fucking load to deal with. So they didn't have Gronk for big portions of the year. And they've had a lot of guys, they've had a lot of injuries, actually, on offense. So I'm not saying the Patriots blow, but I think they're beatable. And the NFC, not a lot of value with the Vikings at plus 180 to win the NFC. And I think the Vikings are going to win the NFC. I didn't realize that they were major favorites like this. I think the way that it's going to go, the way it'll go, I think Buffalo's going to beat Jacksonville this week. They're not done. The journey's not done for Buffalo. I think Buffalo beats Jacksonville this week, which would make Buffalo play New England the following week. I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're going to beat the Patriots. I think it would be the end of the line for us. Now, I'll bet on us anyways because I'm a fan. But, I'm telling you, I think we're going to beat the Jags this week. I feel good about it. But I can't sit here. Now, we got a puncher's chance. Hey, crazier shit has happened. No one thought the Patriots were going to beat the Rams fucking 15 years ago either. And Tom Brady's for a Super Bowl, right? They were 14-point underdogs, man. I know because I lost. I had the fucking Rams that night. I've told the story, too. That's actually, we'll tell the story on Friday, actually, more. Because that was my first Super Bowl that I did on the radio, 2002. Like, it was the first time I was on Sunday nights. So it was the first time I came on, like, after a Super Bowl and where I just lost money and shit. I was kind of rattled. I was only on the radio. It was like my sixth show or something. And then bam, it was the Super Bowl. And I was out the night before. And I was with all these like rocker dudes and shit like that. I don't know if we worked at a concert or what it was. I think we worked at a show, and I don't know, man. I was at like some after hours party or something. Now I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why would I be in an after hours party if I had a radio show that night? But like, I was younger and crazy. So anyways, I remember I was out and it was the Super Bowl. So all these guys that were just sort of casual sports fans or not big sports fans at the party were coming up to me. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning, man. And they're like, hey, dude, it's the Super Bowl. And we all had money. I forget why we had money. Fuck, I really can't remember that part. What do we do? Fuck. But I remember we all had money, and all these guys, my buddies, were coming up to me, and they were like, listen, can you put $100? You bet. They were like, I don't know how to really bet, and I don't have anywhere to bet. If I give you $100, can you bet for me? So all these guys started giving me $100, all right? And they all wanted the fucking New England Patriots. So I said, what, plus 14 points? And they're like, no, to win the game. I don't even know about point spreads, just to win the game. So I was like, you want the New England Patriots? Let me be clear, because we're all wasted. I'm like, let me be clear. You want the New England Patriots to win the game, no points, outright. He's like, yeah, you heard me. I'm like, all right. And then another guy comes up. He goes, oh, I heard about Chris's bet. I'll get in on that. Here's $100. I want the Patriots to win the game. So I took money from about like 5 guys. Fuck. I didn't put the bet in. The Rams were fucking 14-point favorites. The Rams were 14-point favorites. I remember I was with a buddy. We were standing there, and fucking he started laughing. He goes, I hope you're not putting that bet in, eh? He goes, the Patriots have no chance against the Rams. I'm like, I know they got no chance against the Rams. I'm like, I said, it's going to kind of suck if they win because the money line's pretty high, man. But I said, no. And I fucking started laughing. I remember high-fiving him. And I swear to God, guys, I remember, man, I had like 7 $100 bills. I remember telling my buddy, I said, man, I'm already winning on this Super Bowl. I started laughing. We're ordering drinks and shit. So I told my buddy, I'm like, we're already winning on the Super Bowl. Fuck. Fucking, hey, drinks on me, man. Fucking, like, we're at this place. I think we're doing like fucking blow and shit. I'm like, this is great. I'm like, man, I already won $700 on this Super Bowl. Fuck, the game hasn't even started yet. I'm like, this is great. And so, of course, the fucking game starts and shit. And I should note, I bet like $3,000 at the time on myself, like on the Rams. Like I had a teaser and shit, and I had on a lot of money line parlays. I was scared of the 14, but I did have the Rams. Like I was all over the Rams. Fuck. Plus, I had all my buddy's money. Fuck. And like I said, so it was only like the 6th radio show, 4th radio show of my career. So I was young on the radio still. So I had never been on. Like I did well in the NFL playoffs. Like my radio show started January 6, 2002. So I did well in the playoffs. Fuck. So I never went on a Sunday night new, like all depressed and crushed. Except I had to go on the radio. Fucking, I was shocked. I was like, man, I just lost like $3,000. My fucking buddies just won thousands of dollars on the fucking money line that I didn't put in. And I have to do a radio show. So I came on. I'm like, oh, that was, I was like, that was pretty shocking. And like, I was fucking, I was fucking rattled, man. I remember thinking, holy shit, it's going to be tough to do this show. But you know, it was early in my career. I was myself. So I just started bitching about the game. I just ranted about the game for an hour on the show. Now, I will tell you something, though. I will say something. I abandoned ship at the half, except it didn't really help me. Like, it softened the blow. I abandoned ship at the half. I had no choice. No, the money line was, it wasn't plus 650, Aaron. It was plus 450, I think. I think that was the range. It wasn't plus 650. It was, yeah, I think it was like plus 450-ish. So it was like 23. It was like $2,300. The total was like fucking 54 or something. I could look it up. I think the total was like 54 or 50, 52 and a half. See, I think I lost. My buddies won. My buddies won about $2,500. I remember. And I think there were 6 of them. I was wasted. It was like 6 or 7 of them or 5 of them. And I think a couple of them did bet on the fucking Rams. That's, you know, that was one thing. A couple of the guys said, no, I want the Rams minus the points. But what I did do is at the half, and it bothered me to do it because I didn't want to do it. But at the half, I had no choice. I had to bite the bullet and fucking take the Patriots. And they were big favorites, so I couldn't lay enough money. I wasn't that rich in those days. I'm not rich now. So, like, I was trying to fucking, like, get all – I remember I called a bookie. I was like, dude, I need the Patriots. Fuck. Like, not a second half number. I was like, can you give me a money line? Like, I remember I was scrambling to get money line bets in. Yeah, it fucking sucked, man. Yeah, I paid them, fuck. I softened the blow. I ended up losing. I had to pay them like $1,300 or something. I paid them. And I remember after I paid them, I was a real fucker. Like, I was always trying to get it back. I was like, hey, March Madness starts. You guys want anybody? So I was thinking, I got to get that money back from these guys. I can tell you some funny stories betting with those guys, though. There was another dude. I don't know if you got to be older to remember this game, but do you remember the Nebraska-Missouri game? Was Scott Frost the fucking quarterback, for fuck's sakes, in that game? Do you remember the Missouri-Nebraska game? In which fucking Nebraska was ranked number 1, and they were about to lose to Missouri, and they threw a fucking pass on like 4th down with no time on the clock type shit, and it fucking bounced off a fucking dude's foot. Like, a dude dove for the ball. It hit his foot type shit, or it hit the guy's foot, and a guy dove and caught it like a fucking bomb hitting the ground to save everyone. So during that game, a buddy of mine told me, he said, he goes, Missouri are going to beat these guys. You'll see today. I said, Missouri's not beating them today. That's not happening. It was during the game. This guy knew college football a bit, though. Like, he wasn't like, he knew football, but I knew more, but he knew football. So he tells me, he's like, oh, yeah, he goes, I'll bet you. And I was a fucking idiot, because Nebraska were really big favorites. So he knew the spread. And he goes, what are Nebraska, 21-point favorites? I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I think they're a 14. It was on the road. I said, I don't know. I said 14 or so. And I said to him, he offered, he goes, I'll bet $200. And I told him, all right, listen, I can't give you 14-1. And Missouri was winning at the time too. I said, I can't give you 14-1, but I said, I'll give you $1,000. And I had the money. I fucking took it out of my pocket and I showed him. I said, I will give you $1,000 if fucking Missouri wins this game. And I said, but if they lose, you give me $200. So I was giving him 5-1. And I said, I'll give you $1,000, bro, right now if Missouri wins this game. He was all over it. And I said, you got to give me $200 though, if fucking they don't. And I never sweat out a fucking game like that in my life, man. We watched it together too. I'll never forget it, man. We're fucking sitting there. I was like, fuck, I hate Nebraska. He already had the money spent. He's like, I'm gonna go buy a new jacket. He's on the phone with his girlfriend. I'm about to win $1,000. Fucking Morency. And like he thought he played me. And I thought I played him. Because I'm like, sucker. Fucking 5-1. I'm like, sucker. So I heard him on the phone. He's like, Morency's stupid. He offered me $1,000. I'm about to win. And fucking there's the fucking play, man. I never forget, like the ball in the air, like my heart stopped. I was like, I'm watching the ball. It hits the guy's foot. It's like, if you put this in a movie, you'd be like, nah, that's too stupid. Like, if you guys never seen the play, just look it up. Fuck. Like, the kid on Nebraska, it was a shitty pass. Like, the quarterback throws a bad pass. He rushes it. He's under pressure. He's on like the 5-6 yard line type shit. You know what I mean? They're not on the 2. They're on like the 6. They're close. But they threw it into the end zone like a bullet type shit. 7 yard line. Bam. So he throws it in the middle of the end zone. I swear to God, it hit the guy's foot. And it bounced up. And then some guy like dove, man, and barely caught it. Fuck. It was one of the fucking, it was one of the craziest plays I've ever seen and saved my fucking ass, man. I remember another time too, fuck, may rest in peace, the former manager of Grim Skunk, he passed away, Simon, nice guy. He liked to bet, you know, he was a crazy better guy and he had money and shit, so same thing. He knew, because I used to, like, I wasn't a bookie, but I would take bets for my buddies and shit, right? You know what I mean? It's like we're watching the games. They'd be like, Morency, what will you offer me for this? I'd be like, well, I'll give you this, fuck. So same shit. It was Super Bowl, and all these guys are asking me, Morency, you're taking bets on the Super Bowl? And I'm like, yeah. I said, yeah, what do you want? And I said, what do you want? And my buddy fucking guy tells me, he goes, I think that the San Diego Chargers are going to fucking beat the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl. It was the biggest point spread ever in the Super Bowl. It's like -17 or something. -21, actually, fuck. And I was like, well, I said, listen, I can't offer you the real money line. So we negotiated, basically, you know? We negotiated, and I think I offered him 10-1. Fuck, that's what it was 10-1. I said, listen, if you know, and I said, I'm not trying to rip you off. You can bet it a book, but if you want to bet it, I said, I'll give you 10-1. And he said, all right. He said, I'll give you $500 and you give me $5,000 if they win. I was like, all right, sure. And I'll never forget, like, he was watching the game with me, and the second play of the game, was like a touchdown to Jerry Rice. It was like Steve Young to Rice. I just fucking looked over. I was like, you're in big trouble, Simon. And it was like the route was on. Fuck. I forget what the score was. It was like fucking 48-7 or something. San Francisco fucking murdered them. Yeah, exactly, Aaron. Like, I wasn't a bookie, but I used to take bets like that from my buddies, like on games like that. I'd be like, there's no, like, the conversation would start, there's no way in fucking hell they're beating them. And someone would be like, all right, what do you give me? And I was like, well, I'm not giving you a fucking 20-1, but I'll give you 10-1. But me and my buddies used to be crazy. We used to play Monopoly for money. Like we replaced Monopoly money with real money. Except like we obviously had to lower the denominations. So like 100 became 10 type thing. 100 became 10. Like we got into a fist fight brawl over a game of Monopoly that was for money. It was fucking nuts, man. Man, the get out of jail pot, man, there'd be like $500 in there sometimes. He'd be rolling the dice like fucking. And the thing is, we were all broke. I didn't have money in those days. Like we were living in a rat-infested place with a bunch of bands. We had no money. And we used to bet with each other and take each other's money. And I used to tell them, guys, fuck, let's fucking stop betting against each other. Bet online. I said, we're just taking each other's money and it's just causing friction in the house. It causes fights. But whatever, it's the way we were. So fucking, we used to play everything for money. Xbox, Monopoly, that was our thing. So one guy would like be laughing and have everyone's money. He'd be counting. Like it would be fights. Like someone would be like, bro, I don't think you should be laughing at it. She's like, well, counting out like $600. My buddy just punches him. He's like, fuck you, man. He's like, fucking. Dude, we fucking flipped fucking tables, man, with fucking change. Like, we played with loonies. So in Canada, you have like dollar coins. Like, fucking flip, man. It would be like, you fucking asshole. There was a thing that if you flip, you lost. If you flip the board, you lose. You're out. Like, because it's fucking hard. We got to pick the money up off the floor and shit, and you're out. You don't get your share. You're out. Oh yeah, like we got into a fight about like flipping the board and shit. We had a buddy that was a sore loser. He used to fucking smash the board and shit, and fuck the rest of us over. Yeah, you want to add some stress to Monopoly? You want to add some stress to Monopoly? Play with real money when you're broke, fuck. Like it fucking pisses you off. like it's really like it's fucking, we should do it sometime. Like maybe as a fun sample on a live show. It's fucking aggravating, man. Because you roll in and it's like you have hotels and then your buddy's like, well, isn't that a shame? Hey, you Park Avenue Hotel, fucking. Well, that's fucking $500 a night, so that's going to cost you $50, fucking, because it's 10 times lower. And then you get into like, bro, fuck, I don't have $50 because to stay at Park Place. Like, then we cut deals. All right. You know, like, it's fucking gold. Like you swear, like you're playing Monopoly. When I get time, I'm going to write the damn book. I've got the stories all written. I got 3 chapters done. Yeah, it's like betting on craps, but it's Monopoly, right? So it's a combination of craps because you're rolling dice. It's gambling. You're rolling dice. So it's sort of like roulette or craps. You just don't want to land on certain things. But I tell you what, playing Monopoly for money is fucking so fucking good when you win. Like when shit falls into place and you own the whole block and shit, you're just sitting there. You're like, man, you're fucked. But we were cool. Like we used to fucking accept buyouts and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like my buddy would say, listen, Rancy, like you own, he goes, I can't pay you if I land on this hotel. He goes, I'm out. And it's fine. You just take what he's got. Like, it's not like, no, you can't quit. You accept when you're playing for money and like you accept people tapping out because it can get crazy if you land on hotels and shit. Oh yeah. Like I said, it's good times. I don't know risk. I know the game Risk, JP, but I don't know. I've never played Risk. So me playing Risk for money would be a problem. I actually wanted to go enter a Monopoly tournament. Like, we used to play so much, we were pretty good at it. But I actually watched a Monopoly tournament once. And these fuckers are good, man. like I don't like we sort of knew, you know, I haven't played in years, so I'd have to look at the board and shit. It'll come back to me. But like, I sort of knew which ones were good and not to get and stuff. Like, you don't want the railroads. You don't want your fucking shitty hotels and shit like that. You know, because you have money, right? But it's like real life. Like, so it's like like knowing real estate helps. So it's like, you get money, you don't want to dump because it doesn't help you, but you need property, right? So I was pretty good. Like, I used to be obsessed. What's the green one? Ventor. That was a nice one. Fuck. People always land on that Illinois shit. On that third corner there, the Illinois and Ventor. It builds up. That's the little block where you hit them. And then you fucking nail them on the fucking Hyde Park Avenue shit on the way out. Fuck. Yeah, Baltic Avenue sucks. Fucking rent on Baltic costs nothing. Fuck. It's like, big deal. You own Baltic Avenue. Fuck. What are you getting for it? You know what I mean? And the whole thing is with Monopoly, you need to strategically have the hotels placed so they can't escape you. It's like, yeah, you don't want to pay. You don't want to stay in my room here, motherfucker. Don't worry. You're going to roll a 4. And it really pisses people off. Like, if you're with intense gamblers, all right, it really pisses people off when you're sitting there and you're like, man, you just tell the guy, you know, if you roll a 5, a 7, or an 8, you're done. But he rolls the 5, 7, or 8. You're like, yeah. I'm telling you, you know, like, people get bitchy during board games already, man. Throw in the money aspect to it. It's fucking gold. I'm telling you, it's a good time. But it could lead to a fight if you guys are like sort of alpha male dickheads. Too bad, you know, I'm sure they have digital fucking Monopoly now. Can we figure that out? But you know, man, there's some of these smart fucking kids and shit. They've studied this stuff. They'll know everything. Fuck. You know, what to own, what to sell, what to buy. It's like real estate. And pretty much me and one of my other buddies too. This is pretty much the most degenerate thing we ever did. Was we'd basically just flip money, which is pretty degenerate-ish. Monopoly analytics being taught at McGill. Really, Ty Rich? Oh my God. Like I said, yeah, we're just a bunch of potheads playing Monopoly. Like, I don't know Monopoly analytics. Like you said, I'm sure there is. There's Monopoly analytics. Exactly. You know, first you buy this, then you trade it off and sell and buy that. Like, you know these fuckers. It's like a Rubik's Cube. How many of you guys can knock off a Rubik's Cube? No, there probably is rich. Monopoly Analytics. Let's see, Monopoly percentages. I'm trying to look up like some real like hardcore shit. Yeah, you ever like it's a Rubik's Cube? I remember when I was a kid, I was talking about people being dumb. Fuck, I'm fucking dumb. I remember when I was a kid, I got that Rubik's Cube. Took me like fucking 3 hours to get one color. Fuck. I see these fucking kids nowadays doing Rubik's Cubes in 7 seconds, 3 seconds and shit. How the fuck are they doing this shit? See, I was figuring maybe some of you younger ones wouldn't know it. A Rubik's Cube. You don't know what a Rubik's Cube is? If you saw it, you'd know it. Come on, man. Rubik's Cube. You know, the fucking thing that you turn with a bunch of colors on it? Oh, I guarantee you there's smart math people that know Monopoly and shit like that. Yes, and a Rubik's Cube. Like I said, I've never done it. I gave up. Like, I remember I was a teenager, I gave up on it. I remember fucking, I was so close, and every time I turned it, I was like, fuck, man. I remember just smashing the thing. And now you see these fucking kids, fucking 2 seconds. It's fucking insanity. Another cool thing we did. Another cool, you should ask Dave about it. See, Aaron, really, he can do it in 3 minutes, can't exactly. You know what's funny what we used to do too? I used to be, I'm never really a video game geek, but I used to play a lot of the sports games. And I was just in a band. I didn't have a job. I didn't do anything. Fuck. Before I did a radio show, I didn't do anything. Like, I was in a band. I just hustled. I just fucking drank and fucking, slept all day and shit. So that's not true. I had a poster company too, but I was in the rock business. So, you know what I mean? I was living a rock lifestyle. So I used to sit around and play a lot of sports video games and gamble all the time. I've always gambled on sports and gambled and shit. So me and my buddies used to bet on everything. Like, we used to play pickup basketball, we'd bet. Like, we couldn't do anything without betting. Anything. Like, anything. Like, we would bet, like, fucking, if we both had to go somewhere, we'd bet who'd get there faster. You know what I mean? It's like, I bet you, I'm taking a metro and you're taking a car. I bet you I get there before you. He's like, all right, $20, you're on. Let's go. Fucking, be like fucking running down the street to the metro station after. Like, we used to bet on everything, just to spruce life up a little bit. Except, like, we were broke. So our place was almost like a jail. Like, one of our buddies had a canteen. He would sell Pepsis and Cokes and shit. Like, he would buy a case of chocolate bars and chips and he'd sell it to us on credit and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so we ran like our own society, a monetary system society. It's actually a pretty unique system we had going. You know, so everyone would get by. You'd sort of, you know, one guy in the house would be a kingpin, and one guy would like, so it was all the scales were always going up and down. And but one cool thing we did, one of my roommates was very good craftsman, you know, carpenter and shit. So he actually built like his own fucking custom wooden fucking NASCAR race car. So not really like a not like a full car, but basically, you know, like sort of like a go-kart fucking like wood fucking thing. Except we had the NASCAR game, EA Sports NASCAR, except we bought the wheel and the pedal and everything with the vibration and shit. So we had the fucking wheel, and we built this like fucking like cool ass wood fucking car. So everyone, like, people come to our house and we painted it and shit. People are like, man, you guys are the coolest fuck. We had a skateboard ramp on the roof, fucking NASCAR video games and shit. So we had the NASCAR, and we used to bet. You know, not much. I remember the NASCAR days, it's like fucking $5, but it would add up fast because you're betting $5 a race and shit. So, you know, we used to bet basically times. So basically, you know, you pick a track. You're like, all right, let's do fucking Talladega. Talladega, you go. And fucking you race alone. Like you're racing, like, so you do your time and where you finish and shit. And then after the other guy gets in the chair, and, you know, and you're allowed to talk shit to each other. So, you know, as the other guy, you're like, man, you're not on my pace there, bro. It looks like you're allowed to, oh, it's a shame you just crashed. Like we were allowed to talk shit. It was allowed. Like trash talking was allowed. But it'd be funny as like the stakes would get higher. People would get mad about the trash. Shut up, man. It's not funny. Shut up, fuck. You know? Hey, it looks like took too long in the pit there, bro. Yeah, exactly. You know, you can thank you, Master Pets. Yeah, we were ahead of our time. We started esports. I got to end the show, but you know what the game was the most frustrating to me and the one that I used to lose at the most? Like the football, I was fucking good. I'm not saying I'm the greatest Madden player ever, but in my heyday, I was pretty good. And like football, I would win often. I knew football, right? I knew play calling, and I knew, yeah, I knew how to milk the clock. I just knew shit that some of my buddies didn't. You know, and a few guys had figured out shit, but I really like took it seriously. So I'd really like, you know, no, I'm just gonna run the ball a little bit here and fucking piss them off. But you know what game I was bad at, and it sucked because I liked it so much. Was the MLB video games. MLB video games are so good now. They're so realistic looking. I was so bad, man. Like I had a buddy that I always used to beat. I used to beat him at hockey. I used to beat him at football and fucking baseball, man. He used to fucking strike me out all the time. I remember like fucking smashing. Like we went through a lot of controllers. Like there was a local store that sold like used controllers and shit. The guy loved us. Like he used to laugh, man. We'd come in, and the whole deal was if you broke it, you'd have to go to the store. So like you go in the store to be like, oh yeah, what happened? What were you guys playing today? We're like, fuck, MLB The Show got out of hand. Fuck. He's like, you know, you guys really should start fucking taking better care of your game. Like even like he was making money off us. Even he was like, you know, we went through like 4 Xboxes in a year once. Like we actually smashed the whole thing once. Like they would break. I remember once my buddy threw the fucking Xbox through a wall. I actually took a fucking baseball bat to an Xbox once. I'm not the only one that's done this. I'm sure you guys have played Madden for money. Man, there was a story this year about two kids on a USC Trojan football team. Two kids on a USC Trojan football team got into a fist fight over Madden. They were betting, same shit. It turned out that they bet $50 on a game of Madden, and it turned into a fist fight. Another thing we'd do too is we'd set lines. And this is the most degenerate thing we did as well. This one was pretty bad. We'd bet on the out-of-town scores. We bet on the out-of-town scores during the Madden game. You know what I mean? So, like, you're playing Madden, but, you know, like on a Madden game, so there's a scoreboard and shit. We'd fucking bet on fake, fictitious scores on the Madden game. So we'd bet on our own game, but then we'd throw a couple of bucks in. We'd be like, hey, you want to bet on the Falcon game? It's like, all right, Falcons -3. So when you're playing the Madden game, the scoreboard would pop up. You'd be like, oh, fuck, I'm fucking losing the Falcon game too. That's when you know you're a degenerate. When you're not only betting on a game of Madden, but you're betting on the out-of-town scoreboard during your game of Madden. See, Tommy C did it in hockey. Yeah. Yeah, we'd fucking have point spreads and everything. We'd have point. I'd be like, wow, man, because in those days the Panthers were good. It was the Panthers and like Patriots Super Bowl era. It's like 2003, 2004 era. So I remember like telling my buddy, like, I was like, man, the Panthers are good. You got to give me 6 points if I'm fucking if I'm taking the Falcons. Yeah, I knew some of you degenerates did the same with hockey. Yeah, we did the hockey out of town scoreboard too. We bet the baseball out of town scoreboard too. We bet the out of town scoreboards. That's pretty much one of the most degenerate things. No, I've never bet on like flies or cockroaches. I did bet like $1,700 on the lingerie bowl once. Virtual sports. I have bet on virtual horse racing. Like I've actually stood in a casino yelling at a fucking bunch of fucking wooden horses. They have it in Montreal. It's pretty cool actually. But Montreal is plastic, but it's this big, massive bubble track. It's fucking big, guys. Fucking like these fucking plastic horses go around. Virtual sports, hey, Bet365, huh? You know what's interesting? I never clicked that. Wow. See, I did not know that they had this. Dear God. So really, there's always a game on it. I did not know this. Oh my goodness. I just clicked this. I knew that they had fake horse racing. I knew that Bet365 had fake horse racing, and I knew that they had fake greyhound racing. I did not know that they had fake soccer. And there's a line and there's a countdown. Like, it's not just like automatic. There's a countdown here. Yeah, 10 seconds here. Aston City plus 160. Newcastle plus 175. Oh, I missed it. It's off the board. Fuck, you can bet on virtual cycling. There's fake tennis. Holy fuck. I feel like no, I knew about virtual sports, Rich. I didn't know that they had virtual soccer, though. I knew that they had dogs and fucking greyhounds and shit and fake horse. I bet fake horse racing online before at Bet365. I didn't know that they had soccer now and fake tennis and everything. Tyre Rich, tons of money to be made in virtual cycling. Fake tennis is creepy as fuck. Like I said, I've bet on fake horses. I bet on fake greyhound racing before. You know what I mean? But I didn't know. I've never seen this fake soccer and shit. Well, I learn something new every day. Speaking of horses, fuck, I got a real horse. He's going to be back on the track in about 3 weeks. So, speaking of which, I got to get out of here. And we are done. Happy New Year, everybody. Sorry for my shitty picks tonight. We're going to do well with the NFL. Go Bills, baby. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a thumbs up if you can on the way out. Happy New Year. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Other than that, you're on your own. May the winners be yours. Later, guys.